starvation, the recipe. People subdued when the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day, and every clue, don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the brink. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather, I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double, but nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
It is November 19th. Oh, wow. And it's already here. It's 9:09 Central European Time. That would make it actually 3:09 Eastern Standard Time, USA. That would make it also, what is that? Like that's 12:09 Arizona time, right? Something like that. I think like that. 3 hours earlier, Arizona, Cali. What's up to everybody? That would make it the afternoon afternoon in Asia, parts of Asia. But what's up, everybody? Good morning, good night, good evening, good day to everybody out there. And wild, this is wild. I mean, guess. I know Trump is having a narcissistic, just fucking, spark. I know he is flipping out. There's got to be ketchup on the wall, yo. Trump is having a very, very bad goddamn day. And, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I mean, I guess there was. I can't say I'm surprised, to be honest. I can't really say I'm surprised. I can say it comes, right when you think Trump. I mean, Trump shit is crazy. He should have been impeached a long time ago. He should have never been the president. I mean, everything about him is bad. Bad choice. Stop trying to make excuses. Whoever you were who voted for his ass, stop fucking trying to make excuses and look in the goddamn mirror to what you did to yourself and your country. And do not deviate. Don't say Biden did the same thing, because Biden's not the president right now. Like, be responsible with your vote. Be responsible with your money, because you actually pay the taxes. You actually pay taxes to pay these people. You pay Trump a salary and you trust him with your life. I mean, is that smart? Is that smart? Was that a smart move? And again, don't try to say something about Biden, because Biden is not up here in the Epstein files. Okay. So that should be one obvious goddamn thing. In case you still have to distract from looking in the mirror and saying, I did something wrong. There was something about me that got it wrong. You have to be willing to say that to even experience this experience insanity. Now, having said that, Trump was liable to do anything any day of the week. So you never really know what day it is actually going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's coming, but you can't really measure it, because he doesn't give you a way to measure shit. Trump just does it. And the people, his sycophants, and people like Mike Johnson, yes, people like Mike Johnson, they don't actually give you a way to really know either. Like, they don't really give you a fair way to really know, because they keep capping for him. They keep making excuses for him. They keep prolonging his existence. They keep protecting his ass. And this has gone on long enough. Impeach Donald John Trump. Impeach the criminal. Impeach the weirdo. Impeach the weirdo. Impeach the crazy man. Impeach the narcissist. Impeach the sicko. The guy that hangs out with the most prolific pedophile. I mean, if you voted for him, I just have to ask myself one thing. Would you hang out with Jeffrey Epstein too? Like, would you? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say, Trump hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's get the pedophiles and let's go get them. And at the same time, not look in the mirror and say, you the one that voted for his ass. You voted for a person that hangs out with Jeffrey fucking Epstein like that, like today in 2020. You did it in 2016 and you were like, man, let's do this again. 2020, and you found out more. I mean, it's a damn shame. So my question is, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I've never voted for a man that hang out with the most prolific pedophile. I mean, Bill Clinton. Did I even vote for Bill Clinton? Did I? Was I even able to at that time? I don't know if they had vote. It wasn't so easy to vote overseas at that time. Not that I was overseas, but I was traveling, by mail. I think I was in the country. Was I in New York at that time when Bill Clinton was president? I can't remember. But when I was younger, my priorities were a little different. And I was actually, bouncing from New York to DC a lot. So I can't even remember exactly where I was at that time. But I know I was DJing. So that means, my lifestyle was basically late night. You see what I mean? So for a while, and basically consumed with music. So I wasn't even thinking about politics then. But now I'm like twice that age now. You see what I mean? And it's all about politics. As a matter of fact, Copenhagen Denmark just had regional elections yesterday. I went out. I don't know if any of y'all saw that in some of my shorts. I went out. I had to wait an hour. Not that I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. But, that's how many people were in the line at the voting station, the one where I live, close to where I live, it was wrapped around the block. It took me an hour to get in the building and vote. Once you get in the building, the process was fast, right? But the wait around the block, God, that was a long. And I hear it was like that around the whole country. Like a lot of people came out to vote this time, and I think Trump hit a bell, because what comes with Trump is loads of corruption. People in the EU see that. They see what happened in the US with corruption. They see that corruption invited in strange bedfellows. And I think that affected the vote in Denmark, and in Copenhagen specifically, the Enhedslisten, they got a lot of votes. They got a lot. And this in the Enhedslisten and the what is it? Socialist Party. I think Socialist Party, so something like that. But those two parties, they're big now, so they can do a government, I believe, on their own. Even though they both said they're all agreeing to share power. In Copenhagen, I think Enhedslisten got two mayors, right? And one, the head mayor is from another party. Is it the Socialist Party? Or I forget. Anyway, I'm not saying the Socialist Party, right? I forget the name of the party, but they lean that way. So congratulations to those that picked up seats. But in any case, I think the Trump election and Trump being in office the last year has changed how people vote in Denmark, because the party that the prime minister is the leader of didn't do that well. They lost a lot of seats across the country, and I think people were mad because they thought she should go a little bit harder on Trump. I didn't think that, but I think there's also some issues of corruption, some corruption scandals that have been out there, and I think people are like, they put two and two together, like she wasn't that hard on Trump and there's this corruption. No, I that's what I think personally. But in any case, fill out the poll. Do y'all see the poll in the chat? Please, when you come in, click the like button if you don't mind, right? If you like the podcast, and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed before, right? Take a second to do that, right? And also fill in the poll in the chat for those of you that are in the chat now. Actually, I'm an American citizen, born and raised in Washington, D.C., for those that don't know. And I'm saying this because, you have to, because there's new viewers all the time. I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. Both sides of my family go back to the colonial period in the United States. But as a grown ass man, right, because I was doing my thing when I was younger, traveling around, as a grown ass man, I live in Copenhagen, Denmark. And life as an American citizen is a little different here. You know what I'm saying? And I would have to say, actually a little better. I just have to say that I never had to think about this shit before. I'm coming from DC, so DC's not the worst damn city in the country, right? You know what I'm saying? But now, since the advent of Trump, oh hell, goddamn yeah, fucking Denmark is better than the United States of fucking America. Hell yeah, I will say that out loud. There's some things the Danes do right, a lot of things the Danes do right, and there's some motherfucking things that Americans don't do right, and Trump is fucking one of them. That you have to be retarded. You have to be retarded. But in any case, that's our special way. In the U.S., we have our good things. We have our bad things. In Denmark, you have some good things. Luckily, mostly good things. The bad things in the U.S., Denmark doesn't have guns everywhere. Things like this. Denmark doesn't have homelessness everywhere. It doesn't have poverty everywhere. Denmark is a pretty neat country, well kept together. So don't sleep on that. And that goes to show you things can be managed better. And I will give that to Danes. All in all, Danes have a positive outlook on what it is to be a nationality and a country. Denmark, they do. You know what I'm saying? So I just have to say that because I live here and I experience the difference. You see what I mean? So, yeah, plus Danes, they're pretty cool with going to the U.S. and, you know, they enjoy a lot of American culture also. So they're actually great, great host. You know what I mean? But in any case, having said all that, USA, we don't have that shit. We're bad hosts. Our president is like, fuck you, fuck everybody. I want to own you. I want to buy. Our president Trump is like, how can I insult you this morning? This is what the Republican Party has become, a bunch of people that just wake up and say, how can I go piss off some people that help me? People that generally like us. How can I go insult them to their face? And I think the voters in Denmark kind of felt insulted by Trump, but tied in that corruption and tied in that shit with Putin to be like, and also tied in that shit to billionaires, you know, trying to own the country. I think Denmark is, you know, the corruption they're not digging. But in any case, in the U.S., you got this fool. You got people capping, and they're going to continue to cap. Now, guess who lost the vote? And do you think Trump is on his way out the door? You let me know. But let's listen to some of the fun. Let's see here.
That's
oh my goodness, MAGA Mike.
They did some really important work, and we are ready and eager now to get.
This is MAGA Mike before. He's so happy. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. House Speaker Mike Johnson slams Democrats for forcing a vote to release the file. So this is him not digging it at first.
Back to the legislative session work, the other side of this job, so that we can deliver on our promises to the American people. The Republican Party has been.
He's still capping, still talking about the Republicans are the only party that really care about health care.
Doing this, and we will continue. We're going to continue to reduce the cost of health care.
Has the cost of health care cheapened? He's talking about continuing it. Has it cheapened? I mean, wow. This is how phony this guy is, and he's not going to stop. I think he's on his way out, too.
We got big plans to do that. We're going to continue reducing prices and the cost of living for American families. And, of course, to finish the rest of the appropriations government funding process.
He had a whole lot of plans that didn't go well. Click the like button, please, y'all. Click the like button as you come in, yo. And fill out the poll in the chat. I want to see what the results are.
We've been needing to do that, and we are already working around the clock to accomplish those objectives.
Too late.
With so many pressing issues on our plate, just... very frustrating.
I'm sorry. I want to cut his ass off, but I just have to let him cap a little bit more because in hindsight, this shit is ridiculous.
Plus, the Democrats are delaying that work even further with a political show vote. They're forcing a political show vote.
So everybody remember that. This was a political show vote, according to MAGA Mike Johnson. This didn't have nothing to do with loads of victims that everybody, even MAGA people, are like, man, Biden should have released it. Everybody should release it. Can't we say, oh, by the way, Biden couldn't really release it because they had ongoing cases. You see what I mean? So that's another thing people should think about. You know, now how Merrick Garland went about the security shit, I think something else should have happened outside of just the Epstein files. But it's true. You can't. They had several different cases, and I think even up to Biden, I don't know how long it was before Biden was, how close it was to him being out of office. But I think they had appeals for Ghislaine Maxwell also that was slowing all of that down. So a lot of people are just like, why didn't Biden do it? Why didn't Biden do it? Well, you know, learn the law.
On the Epstein file. So we're just going to address that right at the top here this morning. Because they've spent so much time, the Democrats have, spinning the facts and trying to confuse the people, that I wanted to come in this morning and just clearly explain for the people back home how we got here and why this vote is happening right now. First, a quick review of
explain that.
The relevant history here. For 4 long years under the previous administration, under the Biden-Harris administration.
Now listen to this.
Democrats insisted there was no border crisis. Remember, they told you that that wasn't a problem at all.
They asked for comprehensive immigration control. That's what the Democrats officially asked for. And Donald J. Trump, just like he does today, told every single Republican, you better not support it. That's what actually happened. And you see this fool is out here just lying. And again, he's lying on your dime. Look, Republicans, you don't have to agree with Democrats. But when you allow a Republican like this to lie to your face, You're the goddamn fool. Like, you're supposed to want him to tell you the truth, right? And to actually have some relevant shit to say. But here's a case where he's just lying to Republicans' faces. Everybody, all you have to do is research it. Just dig up comprehensive Democrats, comprehensive immigration control, right? Isn't that what it was called? And then put Republican right after it, and you will see all the news you need to see about this. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's another thing also too. They did this about the immigration. It's Trump that told them don't make any agreements. Democrats already had the vote set up, and Trump found out and was like, don't pass it. And the Republicans pulled out. It's the same thing with healthcare. The Republicans have been fighting healthcare. You have healthcare the way you have it, even the healthcare you had when Biden was in office. The reason why it is that way is because of Republicans. They made the Democrats have concessions. It's them who did it. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part about it. Dems really in reality there's no reason why we shouldn't all have universal health care, because that's what makes it the cheapest when everybody's buying in together. You see what I mean? 350 million people. You know how much what kind of discount you get when you're buying the lion's share of everything? You see what I mean? But instead, what they're doing is robbing us, selling us shit for 3 and 4 times the value, when it's us who's really the backbone of it. Our own taxes helps create a lot of medical products that we in turn have to buy back. It's like, it's crazy. It's all fucked up. But in any case,
4 long years,
click the like button, y'all.
under the previous administration, under the Biden-Harris administration, Democrats insisted there was no border crisis. Remember, they told you that that wasn't a problem at all. They dismissed inflation as transitory. That's what they told us. They told the American people not to believe.
They never said transitory. I mean, did they say transitory? But in any case, whatever.
We could all see with our own eyes that there was an obvious mental and physical decline on the part of President Biden individually.
Right. That's the big scam. So the scam is, you see how that's that's their big conspiracy. They knew he was too old and they didn't say anything. Oh my God. What a scandal.
And now, seemingly overnight, these same cast of characters.
I mean, it's not like the dude attacked Venezuela and shit. What the hell?
They've taken a
He didn't cut your snap. He didn't just be like old as hell and cut your snap. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't just like old as hell and tariffs, everybody. Tariffs. Good morning. I'm going to tariff everything.
An urgent interest in the Epstein investigation. Suddenly, it's all in the name of transparency. That's what they're trying to tell us. But the truth is,
he's a good ass
the
liar.
biggest proponents of this discharge petition were never actually interested in transparency or ensuring justice.
They fought this shit every second of the way, and they got the nerve to say it's the Democrats that didn't want transparency. And all the Democrats have said is release the files as they are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's the issue?
Or protecting victims of this unspeakable tragedy, the Epstein evils.
Now he's going to say that the Democrats didn't do this to protect victims. They're not about the victims. Look, when he uses the word victims, this is the crazy thing about it, because you let him talk long enough, he will eventually tell you. When he uses the word victims, right, he's not even talking about the victims. He is talking about other people that he calls victims, like billionaires that's been around these girls and around Epstein. That's who he's classifying as victims. Like, literally, watch. He doesn't say it until later, but finally, because nothing went his way, finally, because it passed through the Congress, went over to the House, and that was just unanimous before it went there. Then you finally get the truth from MAGA Mike in his speech, how he's up there whimpering about it's innocent billionaires is going to be caught in this and they don't need their names out to the public. That's what he finally says. After all this months of delaying, he finally tells you what victims he's thinking about.
And how do we know that? Because the Democrats had every one of the Epstein files in their possession for the 4 long years of the Biden administration.
Okay. You see? But unlike this administration, they actually were prosecuting people. Okay. And the people didn't die. They still alive to tell the truth. If you want to get the truth from them, which they don't, obviously. But this is crazy, because when you have an ongoing case and you have ongoing appeals, you can't release that information. That's the law. You see, that's the law. And actually, they ran on the platform after the cases were closed. Let me look up, when did the Maxwell appeal end? Let me see that. Let me see. I'm gonna look that up just for Seeker Hill School, to be careful. But in any case, y'all get the gist of it. If you have an ongoing case, you can't, that stuff all gets blocked. It's very simple. That's exactly what Pam Bondi has already said. But let's hear some more.
The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that.
All right. So look, actually, Ghislaine Maxwell final appeal pretty much wrapped up on October 6th. What is this? When they declined to hear her case. That is official. Now, here's a quick breakdown. In September 2024, the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld her conviction. Okay. So she was still, you see, so she was on appeal even before that. Maxwell then petitioned the Supreme Court. Okay, but when did she first go on appeal? When did she first? Let me see something here. I just want to see when. Okay, so it says, look, July 2nd, 2020. July 2nd, 2020. She was first charged. Okay. That's as soon as the Biden administration. That's how many months? 3 months into the Biden administration, or four months into the Biden administration? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, that's 6 months into the Biden administration. Okay. So, and then the first appeal is, hold on, when did that? I don't know. Oh, okay. She faced 6 counts. I wonder how long that case went. But in any case, she immediately appealed it, right? And Maxwell's first appealed her conviction after the trial verdict in December 2021. So that trial went on for over a year, right? And the appeal was filed in January 2022, right? And right, okay. Then the Second Circuit upheld her conviction, right, in 2024. So it's been under appeal basically the whole time. You see, so just keep that in mind when MAGA Mike Johnson says what he's saying.
Jay, when they
I mean, of course, he's a damn liar, though.
Prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Do me a favor, y'all. Click the like button, please.
Single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so...
He's like, why now? Like, wow, that's so creative what he's talking.
So interested. They have such an urgent interest.
He doesn't sound like somebody who's in a hurry to get those files out. Look at that. You see what I mean? Everything he's doing is against them. Okay, so regardless of what you think the Democrats are doing, they at least act like they're trying to get them out. They're at least doing the things you would have to do to get them out if you had a president who didn't release them. You see what I mean? And if you had somebody like MAGA Mike Johnson standing in your way, listen to how he's talking.
Under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted...
He's so negative. He's just saying, don't trust them. They want these files out now, but that's really a hoax.
Just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now?
Yeah, that's an important question. Why now? Why now? Why now? So he's basically saying, Republicans, Trump's base, you're stupid as fuck. And look at his face. Hold on. Matter of fact, his damn face is beautiful here. Let's see. Did it get bigger? Look at his face. I mean, his face is wonderful. Hold on. Can I actually change this for a second? Let's see here. Yeah, look at his face. Let's make this a little bigger too. This is so interesting. Look at his face when he's doing this. This is a weird look. He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look happy at all. Hold
None of
on.
them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the
You could tell he's pissed off.
documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter.
He just doesn't like
The truth
that.
is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly,
Look, he's about to lie. He can barely keep it in. Look at this. Then he had to smile.
that's the
Hold on.
question, why now? Why suddenly?
It's so fake. Why now? I studied this one in the mirror. I'm going to ask, why
Not
now?
one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge.
Duh. It's like 50 goddamn victims standing on the steps every day at the Capitol building saying, shame, shame, shame. 100. And he's like, why now? Why now? There's people harassing these congressional members, especially the Republican ones, in their homes and shit, to the point where they can't even be at home. They want to live on a military base. And this dude is like, why they do that now? Like, he doesn't realize even Republicans are telling him, yo, you better do this, Mike. That's why. This is
ever
crazy.
Made any noise about that at all.
He didn't hear. So in other words, MAGA Mike Johnson never heard any Republicans saying, release the files, MAGA Mike. Do something, MAGA Mike. He never heard any of that. He's just, that don't exist. You see what I mean? I mean, it's okay to not listen to Democrats because he's a Republican, but he's not even listening to MAGA.
So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey.
Yeah. It's just nobody's screaming outside of the Capitol. They have just a urgent issue. It's because fucking people want it, MAGA Mike. Damn, you don't hear nobody?
Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly. And it is as deceitful and dishonest as their
Ooh, he's got some nerve saying deceitful and dishonest. That it is deceitful. This is pure gaslighting.
look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly. And it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government. Same ideology behind this. Democrats are trying to use the Epstein matter as a political weapon to distract from their own party's failures. And in a desperate attempt, they're trying to somehow tie President Trump to the scandal. President Trump has nothing to do with it. He has said himself.
He say President Trump has nothing to do with it. Man, this guy can lie his ass off. I mean, he's horrible at it. No, he's actually good at it. He's actually good at it. But if he wasn't just saying things that were obviously and painfully untrue, you might believe him. But the shit he's asking you to believe is the most outrageous shit ever on earth. Click the like button, y'all. Let's listen some more. Because he's going to flip the script.
And that's clearly what they've been trying to do. They're trying to attack President Trump. This is what they've done. They weaponize the justice system.
So all those victims, they just, it's all about attacking Trump. Everybody. So he doesn't notice the victims. He doesn't hear any of the claims. He doesn't hear Jeffrey Epstein's brother saying he believes his brother was murdered. And he even said he wouldn't be surprised if it was Trump. You know, he doesn't hear any of these things.
Over the last
Thank God for the internet, because people use the internet, MAGA Mike.
several years to go after him, and this is their latest attempt.
All right. So as you can see, he capped his way through. I mean, he gave a bravo. He gave his speech is like he deserves an Academy Award for this shit. Just blatant lying. Right. But let's see here. Let's listen to him lie a little more before he flips the script.
Working around the clock, they worked even through the government shutdown, and there were tranches of documents that were released even over that period. So far, by last count, it's over 65,000 documents, Epstein file documents that are now out in the public for everyone to review. So
again, he's right now he's making an argument for not releasing the Epstein files. Why? Because so many documents are already released, you know. Any case, let's see what he said after that. Let's see after the vote.
I talked to John Dune over the weekend. I just texted him. We're going to get together. We'll talk about this. There's an easy way to amend the legislation to make sure that we don't do permanent damage to the justice system, and I'm going to insist upon that. We'll talk to our city colleagues about it.
Outside of changes to the Epstein bill in the Senate?
There needs to be changes to the bill. Outside.
Well, if there's no changes to the bill, will you urge the president to veto it should it land on his desk?
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
I talked to John Dune over the weekend. I just texted him. We're going to get together. We'll talk about this. There's an easy way to amend the legislation to make sure that we don't do permanent damage to the justice system, and I'm going to insist upon that. We'll talk to our city colleagues about it.
Outside of changes to the Epstein bill in the Senate?
There needs to be changes to the bill.
So that shit didn't go too well. Obviously, MAGA Mike did not go too well at all. You know, he just, I guess he found out people were fucking tired of the bullshit and really want the files to just be released. I mean, how much time do you have to spend fighting the release of some files? How much time?
On the Epstein files, let's listen.
Use the people that I wanted to come in this morning and just clearly explain for the people back home how we got here and why this vote is happening right now. First, a quick review of the relevant history here. For 4 long years under the previous administration, under the Biden-Harris administration.
Right, so he goes on in caps and caps and caps and caps, as we heard. Let's see.
Has already reviewed it and determined it is not credible. It is false information. Doing this and requiring this to come out could ruin the reputations of completely innocent people, representatives, such as those who have have known Epstein but knew nothing of his crime.
Here's the cap.
It is not credible. It is.
Listen to his cap, his specific points to why it shouldn't come out. He's arguing that bill they just passed, it shouldn't have passed. This is his argument.
Quote, I beg the court to make sure it is of the utmost priority that in any sort of release, all and every detail that could possibly reveal our identities be redacted. The victims of Epstein's evils deserve that protection, and the discharge does not currently provide it. Okay? Number 2, the discharge petition could create new victims, okay? Because it requires the DOJ to release.
Now listen, so now he starts morphing a little bit more. He doesn't come out and tell you who he's talking about when he says victims, right? But he's starting to hint in there, like he's saying the victims. Like he tells you in the beginning, whose name is going to be redacted. Then he says it's not enough, but then he goes back to using the word victims, but he's not talking about those kind of victims. Watch.
The victims, one of the victims. And importantly, the judge quoted a letter from one of the victims. In the proceedings, she is named as Jane Doe 2. She said this is one of the victims, quote, I beg the court to make sure it is of the utmost.
This is a court. So you see how he's manipulating?
Most priority that in any sort of release, all and every detail that could possibly reveal our identities be redacted.
That's the court. That's something else. That's something else. You see, and any victim's name can be redacted, but so he's using a victim to qualify covering up men and billionaires that were around victims or around Epstein. That's so weird.
The victims of Epstein's evils deserve that protection, and the discharge does not currently provide it. Okay? Number 2, the discharge petition could create new victims. Okay?
Does he tell you who the new victims are?
Because it requires the DOJ to release information even in cases where the DOJ or the FBI has already reviewed it and determined it is not credible. It is false information. Doing this and
slime ball, that's slimy.
Requiring this to come out could.
And what DOJ is he talking about? What DOJ is he talking about? Is he talking about Pam Bondi, Kash Patel?
Ruin the reputation.
I mean, do you trust? If you trust Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, put a 1 in the chat. If you definitely say hell no to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, you do not trust them, put a 2 in the chat.
Of completely innocent people.
I'm going to put a 2.
Such as those who have have known Epstein but knew nothing of his crimes or whose names he exploited.
Listen to this man cap. He's capping for real right now. This is like an expert liar. And this is the type of individual that Republicans, the kind that got their snap held up by Trump, voted for.
And the reputations of completely innocent people, such as those who have may just have known Epstein but knew nothing of his crimes, or whose names he exploited. Think of this, innocent people whose names he exploited and used to try to get close to his intended victims.
So he's saying all those people, they're going to become victims too, because you hear what he's saying? I mean, this is, the guy just gave up everything here, but he gives up more later. There's another update to this. Watch.
Of completely innocent people, such as those who have may just have known Epstein but knew nothing.
What the fuck is that? If you just knew Epstein, what's the problem if you haven't done anything wrong? What's the problem? There's plenty of people. There was a guy that was cutting grass. There was a person serving at Epstein's. There was a maid too. What, we supposed to hide their names too? They embarrassed also that they work for Epstein? What about security people? Anybody? You know, come on. What is this? What is this? We don't want to know who the tennis coach was anymore. You know, it's like, what is this?
Of his crimes, or whose names he exploited. Think of this, innocent people whose names he exploited.
This man capped for pedophiles, essentially, and he's on record. This is what he's going down on. This is his cross. This is his cross to bear, the pedophile cross. This is crazy.
Used to try to get close to his intended victims.
This is bullshit. This is no one should be like this in government. Nobody. This is the taxpayers' money. No one should be lying like this. You know, he needs to get the fuck out of government, like far away from federal government, local government, everywhere.
Their names may be in these files, and they had nothing to do with this. And so by just haphazardly releasing it, you're going to destroy their reputations. Releasing information containing the names of innocent people would subject those innocent people to a guilt by association. It would create an entirely new group of victims who have no means to clear their names.
So he goes on to say, you know, he's angry now that it's passed through the House, where he's the one who held that off for a long time, for months, right? But now it's passed through the House. So now he's going to go on to say he supports the Senate passing it too, but he wants them to make amendments to it, right?
That's a concern of Congress, and it should be. It should be. Number 3, the discharge in its current form fails to prohibit the release of child sexual abuse materials.
You hear him faking? You see what I mean? So what he's saying is that he doesn't want any videotape with someone's face blurred out, with the victim's face blurred out, right? He doesn't want any sexual stuff blurred out, but he doesn't want the tapes to be released at all. Like, so if there's any person that was committing a crime, like an adult, a man that was committing a crime in those videos or images, he doesn't want that to come out, because that's what he's going to call it. You see, this is the thing about it. So, yeah. And that tells me a lot. That tells me that he might be aware that there are some photographs or videos like that.
All right, you've been listening to House Speaker Mike Johnson there.
Okay, so it didn't work. It's gone on to the Senate, and the Senate was like, "Oh, fuck that. Just let it through." Unanimous. We're not going to touch it. Just pass it. We agree. We agree as it is.
Discharge petition, something that almost never works, not only works, but basically a unanimous vote, forcing the Speaker, who was suppressing your discharge petition for months, to actually then vote for it. Where do you want to begin?
And he's trying to act like he wanted to vote for it and shit. That's what's even crazier. He's trying to act like he wanted. MAGA Mike Johnson is out. He's the king of the cap, because even now he's out there like, I wanted to vote for it. What are you talking about? We have to protect those victims. You know, let's do this shit tomorrow. Let's have a vote. Now he wants a vote after it's been passed. But in any case, click the like button, please.
On the history made today.
Well, Lawrence, against all odds, the survivors really are the ones who made history. Your program gave them a platform, and what I did is give them a platform. They came twice to the Capitol, and they told their stories, and that's what moved the nation and moved Congress. But you know what this is a reminder of? Congress finally woke up that we do not have to be supplicants to Donald Trump. We're a co-equal branch of Congress, a co-equal branch of government, and that when we stand up, it turns out that we don't have to cave to Donald Trump. Donald Trump will cave to Congress. And I hope this is really the lesson that Republicans learn, that they can pierce Trump's intimidation and they can still survive politically.
Facts.
Well, that is the lesson that Thomas Massey is teaching them, that Marjorie Taylor Greene is teaching them. They beat Donald Trump. They didn't just survive this. They have beaten him. He's the loser tonight, and they are the winners.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it was a humiliation. Trump saw that he was going to lose 60 to 70 Republicans who were going to vote against him. And, you know, Speaker Johnson, as you put it, I mean, it was a complete humiliation for him. He kept adjourning Congress to try to block this vote. Then he tried to plead with the Senate to amend the bill. Again, a failure. He ends up voting.
This dude's a beggar, man. MAGA Mike Johnson, he went out like a pedophile's best friend, like almost like it's his own friend that's the pedophile, you know, like seriously. I mean, who fights for someone this much? What guy goes out there to cover up pedophilia activity? Like, who does that? You know, even if it's your friend, that's the point where you're supposed to be like, friend, colleague, or whatever, where you're supposed to be like, hey, you know, that's on you right there. That one, nah, that's on you. You clear that up, and then we wrap when you get that cleared up. You know what I'm saying? But MAGA Mike Johnson is like, this is my job. My job is to actually cap for these fools, like cover it all up. That's what the taxpayers pay me for. No.
Bill that he was against.
And that's pathetic.
Today is a day, because of the survivors, that we can say is the beginning of the end of the Trump presidency. I really believe that, because Trump's whole tactic is fear. Get people to comply, thinking.
All right, let me see what the chat looks like. I want to see, sorry about that. I want to see what the poll says. Okay, 45% of the people fill out. If you haven't filled out the poll, please fill it out. 45% right now say he's out of there. Trump won't make it past. Oh, whoa. Will Trump remain in office past? 44% of the people think that he will remain in office after 2025. I'm not one of those people. 38% says no, he won't. And 17% isn't sure. Okay, I don't think he's going to make, I mean, he might be alive, but I don't think he's going to remain in office. And keep this in mind. If he does, guess who the fool is? The people whose taxes go to this shit. Because I got to tell you, I'm an American citizen. I did not vote for this fool. I voted for Kamala Harris. Because she predicted all this shit and she was right. I'm for expanding healthcare. I'm for expanding affordable housing. I'm for expanding education. I'm for getting rid of I'm for these kind of social issues. But to be honest with you, my tax dollars don't go to this shit. The same place. When you live outside of your own country, my tax dollars go to the government here where I live in Denmark, where I work and live, obviously, right? So my tax dollars doesn't go to this bullshit. Number one, my tax dollars goes to mine and everybody else's health care, mine and everybody else's, my kids and everybody else's kids' education, mine and everybody else's affordable housing, or, I guess that's what you call it here, right, in the city, right? Mine and all the social programs that we get here, my taxes go to that, plus my private life, my fun, the shit I want to have. It doesn't go to a bunch of people fucking capping for Trump. Are you out of your mind? People here are insulted by the presence of Trump. Just the mere thoughts of Trump. Let me tell you, if you are still capping for Trump or anyone that caps for his program, you are a goddamn fool or a troll, right? A fool. Trolls, because they just pretend like they care. They're just there to be divisive. But if you really do support Trump at this point, you are dumb. Because guess what? Everywhere else around the Western world where people pay taxes, more of their tax dollars that they do pay is going to them than your tax dollars is going to help you. Your tax dollars are just being abused by people like this. This is crazy. You want to pay another day? You want to pay another day taxes? Because I don't know what I would do if I was living in that situation. Like, I'm just telling you straight up. Like, you have a choice. And the choice in the United States right now is to pay for stupid bullshit with your tax dollars. Every day you go to work. That's
is a
the
Wizard
choice.
of Oz moment. People stood up to him. They won.
And thank you. Thank you for this brother right here, because he actually stood up to them. And, you know, it's a lot of people that wouldn't do what Connor did, actually. A lot of people don't have that in their spine, obviously, to do that, right? Because it's either the money that's going to stop them from doing that, or they just scared. They don't feel it. Maybe he feels like he's a minority and won't get the backing of other people. Now, he didn't make no fucking excuse. He said, I'm going to do it. This is wrong. So if you're a Christian out there, or you're another type of American out there, and you got a problem with him, yo, he did more than you to stop Trump. He did more than you to make Trump stand up against Trump, to make Trump face justice, to face reality in front of the American people. So, you know, it's something to think about.
They realize that they have support from people in their own party.
We watched you develop this bipartisan support.
Right. So that's bipartisan. And you will hear people say both the Democrats and the Republicans, they both do. You know, okay.
And so the Epstein Files Transparency Act, as it is formally known, now goes to the White House. The president has grudgingly admitted he will sign it.
Facts.
It's a head-snapping victory for the people who've been pushing for this, especially the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, who were on Capitol Hill today lobbying for full disclosure.
And you know what?
The president.
Look at this. And MAGA Mike Johnson, he was like, why now did the Democrats want to do something? Why now? Why are they trying to do something? Why right now? Like, what happened all of a sudden? He didn't notice these women out there every damn day on the front stairs of the Capitol saying, release the files, shame. And he's like, it must be a conspiracy theory. Why did the Democrats all of a sudden now? That's obviously bullshit. I mean, this man is playing people, the American people, for dumb. Like, literally playing the American people for dumb. Like, flat out. I mean, listen, why now? Why now? This is crazy. Why now? I mean, what does it say here? The Democrats, hold on, did I put the wrong one up? Yo, the Democrats could not do anything about it because essentially they charged Ghislaine Maxwell, right, with a crime using the Epstein files when Biden came into office. She was convicted. The trial took like over a year. Right. And then she appealed it twice. So in reality, she didn't even come out of the appeal until just October when Trump was already in office, her second appeal. You see? So that's finished. So when the appeal is finished, there is no legal reason to not be able to release all the files. So you have to put it together. You see what I mean? And I know a lot of people don't really have the time and energy to pay attention to all the details. And, you know, the big things sound good. Release the files. Why didn't you do it? Well, you know, apparently you're not paying attention to why when people tell you, you know. But in any case, if MAGA Mike Johnson is confused about why all of a sudden now, you can tell him that. Because Ghislaine Maxwell is out of her appeal as of October 2025. Right, October 6, 2025. And these ladies been on the steps since then saying, hey, what the fuck is up?
States of America who is not here today, I want to send a clear message to you. While I do understand that your position has changed on the Epstein files, and I'm grateful that you have pledged to sign this bill, I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So with that being said, I want to relay this message to you.
If anybody's listening, I saw somebody in the chat say bye. Yeah, I know you don't want to hear this.
I want to relay this message to you.
She's gonna relay this message to Trump, to your master right now. You can't hear that. This is like, garlic in your heart.
I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So with that being said, I want to relay this message to you. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I beg you, President Trump.
And the American people that's listening that aren't traumatized should be like, and we ain't stupid. At least say that, because the way these people, these Republicans, MAGA Mike Johnson, been talking down to you all, like you all are goddamn stupid. And you know what? Some of you might just be like, I believe a lot of you are, because look at who you voted for. Look at how you've been handling yourself. Still can't look in the mirror and stop the bullshit? Like, be real. This is your hard-earned money working for you. So every dumbass thing that Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson do is guess who's paying for it? Instead of you paying for going out and getting a steak dinner, instead of you buying your kids something with your money, nah, you're paying these motherfuckers to lie to your ass. I mean, you can't be dumber. Like, flat out. You're against your own life and well-being.
Please stop making this political. It is not about you, President Trump.
And it's not about Republicans or Democrats. It should just be about American citizens. If you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just a fucking MAGA person.
You are our president. Please start acting like it. Show some class. Show some real leadership. Show that you actually care about the people other than yourself. I voted for you, but your behavior on this issue has been a national embarrassment.
Oh, yes. I love this lady. Damn.
Traumatized. I am not. It is not about you, President Trump. You are our president. Please start acting like it.
Yep. Act like it, but a lot of these people still don't get it.
Show some class. Show some real leadership. Show that.
She said show some class. He got no class.
You actually care about the people other than yourself. I voted for you, but your behavior on this issue has been a national embarrassment.
This has been a global embarrassment for the United States of America. Like, just Trump's presidency alone is itself is nothing more. That, I mean, a national embarrassment is almost like an understatement. It's really foul.
It is time to take the honest, moral ground and support the release of these files.
If they have any morals, they don't have morals, yo. I mean, they will only be forced to release these files. Like, this guy's going down in flames. He may be literally dragged out of the White House. Like, he doesn't get it. Like, he cannot take seeing the mirror. So it can just keep getting bad and he won't see it. And when you got a person that never sees the bad that they do, no matter how bad it gets, that's the type of person that usually gets dragged out physically by physical force, and that's where Trump is headed to, basically.
They've been fighting for this for a very long time, but particularly since the Trump Department of Justice first went all in on Epstein earlier this year. It's easy to forget, but it was Trump officials who brought this whole issue to the forefront in the first place. Remember, Pam Bondi, who had promised this big reveal, right? Before she revealed the files, she had hundreds of FBI employees working around the clock, poring over those Epstein files. Mm-hmm. The FBI then flagged to Bondi that...
And before they were even in office, they were like, on day one, Kash Patel, on day one, he should release the files.
Trump's name kept coming up in the documents, something she relayed to Trump. The Bureau then abruptly issued a 2-page memo announcing that, basically, there was nothing to see here, that the investigation was effectively over and they would be releasing no more information. That decision by this administration has occasioned what has been probably the biggest political disaster Trump has encountered in his entire second term so far. I mean, really, for the first time in recent memory, he was simply unable to bully and browbeat and cow congressional Republicans into just doing what he wants. But boy, did he try. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson kept the House adjourned for nearly 2 months, in part, we think, so he could avoid swearing in Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, who would be the final deciding vote on that discharge petition.
This is what you got, that big, beautiful bill.
When that plan failed, Trump personally called Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert of Colorado, one of 4 Republicans on the petition, to try to pressure her to vote no on the discharge petition, to take her name off. When that didn't work, Boebert was summoned to the Situation Room with the head of DOJ and FBI for a kind of bad cop routine.
He flat out went after. I mean, what they did everything possible to stop just this. So, I mean, in my view, I'm like this. Guess what? This is over for Trump. It's not just Trump here, because so many people cap for Trump. That means you cap for sex trafficking. That means you were on the defensive when it was time to do something about it. You said, push the brakes. How come the Democrats ain't do nothing 4 years ago? I can't do this now. Forget that. Let's not focus and do this now while we have a chance. Let's talk about why the Democrats didn't do it. Let's talk about why little orphan Annie didn't do it when she was a little kid either. How come the other one, whatever happened to, Nixon? He ain't released the Epstein files. I mean, every other goddamn reason. The aliens, the aliens is just anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got any excuse for just saying right now, I don't stand on releasing the files. I can't support that. You see what I mean? They will use any excuse. This shit is so frustrating. He should just be impeached. Just impeach him. This shit is way out of whack. There is nothing Donald J. Trump or anyone in his administration can do positively for any fucking American citizen or the country at all. They are frauds. They are corrupt, and they are all in this sicko little shit together as a group. They're all in it. Actually, Epstein may be more cooler than the rest of them, because at least he was willing to blackmail their ass.
Where they again tried to pressure her to take her name off of a
Epstein kept his files.
petition that she had already.
Imagine if he was like, no, please, I got to destroy all these files because I don't want any of these people hurt. That would be terrible. No, that's not what he said at all. He knew they was coming. He was like, fuck it. Leave the files there. Don't burn one file.
That failed as well.
That goes to show you there's no love. There's no love.
Republicans staged an open revolt and Trump backed down. They had to kind of knock the king over. Checkmate. Get up from the table. And that in turn led to some very funny about faces. For instance, on Friday, Republican Congressman Troy Nehls of Texas posted, quote, "I'll be voting no on the Epstein hoax, and I'm not going to let this hoax manufactured by Democrats slow us down." But then Trump tried to pretend like he was fine with the vote, actually, after realizing that he was going to lose it, and said, okay, you guys all vote for it, sure. So then Nehls had to twist himself into knots to explain why he was now voting yes on what he called a hoax just a couple of days ago.
That's a good question. No, I don't regret the post.
Well, you said you're no, then yes.
I don't regret the post.
Forgets aside, the bill will become law. As many folks have pointed out, however, the
Let me hear this shit one more time.
That's a good question.
They all in defense about it. I mean, this is so embarrassing. It's on TV. You can't live this down. You can't live this down. This is something they're all supposed to know. Any person in government is supposed to know, don't do what they're doing. You're supposed to be there to seek justice. And they ran away at step after step after chance after chance after chance away just from justice, consistently running away from it.
What he called a hoax
after it's already been ran away from before.
Just a couple of days ago.
That's a good question. No, I don't regret the post.
Well, you said you're no, then you're yes.
I don't regret the post.
Forgets aside, the bill.
So he called it a hoax. Okay, that is crazy. Yeah, that's the typical Republican thing going on. They still trying to say it's a hoax when it's like, is it a hoax? I mean, who said it was a hoax? They say it's a hoax one day, and then Trump is saying, go prosecute Democrats. I mean, it's actually wild as hell, It's just guilt. It is what guilt looks like. It's exactly what guilt looks like.
Please, if we could, just out of respect for particularly the survivors who are going to speak, if we could have some silence. And if folks could just please calm down. People can speak.
Let me hear Marjorie.
Signatures on the discharge.
Oh, here we go.
Enterprise.
No, first, right, here we go. Sorry about that. So here, boom.
Preventing
be released. 4 signatures. Partisanship on this issue. This is an issue where they both have shown real courage.
The information that the DOJ is giving them. If you've looked at the pages they've released so far, they're heavily redacted. Some pages are entirely redacted. And 97% of this is already in the public domain.
That's what I'm saying. They have enough to just impeach Trump already, because the willingness to not be transparent and the willingness to cover this up, means there's something horrifically wrong with this group that's running the White House right now and the government.
So I'm calling on my colleagues. Be one of the next 2 who sponsors this discharge petition. I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C. Sex crimes in this country. Today we're wondering if they should come forward. They're clouded with shame and concerned that law enforcement will do nothing. And these survivors have stepped forth, taking that same risk, worried that they will be defamed themselves. They have been defamed for stepping forward. But we're going to get justice for them. That's going to happen today in the People's House. The founders set up our government with 3 branches and 2 branches of Congress. And I don't think it's any coincidence that this fight is being started and it's being won in the House of Representatives. I have people, other survivors of other sex crimes, who come to me and say, thank you. You give me hope. You give us hope. There is hope here. We fought.
This is actually bipartisan. And I think, that's what people should pick up on. Like at this moment, no matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or independent, you have to be for the release of these documents, and you have to be thankful. You have to represent the people that did something about it. You can't just complain. You see what I mean? You have to do more. Recognizing who did something about it is in your best interest. It's not kissing ass. It's just taking notes, which is what you're supposed to be. Even if you're kicking ass, you're supposed to be taking notes. You're supposed to be acknowledging who is doing what needs to get done. If they didn't do this, none of us would be seeing these files.
The president.
We wouldn't be seeing anything. They made noise, and you just have to be thankful. Even the victims are thankful for these representatives because there was nobody else. There was no one else. 0. Not even you or me.
The Attorney General, the FBI Director, the Speaker of the House, and the Vice President to get this win. But they're on our side today, though. So let's give them some credit as well.
Exactly. Trump changes his mind hourly. You following him? What the hell? You can't be a serious human being and still. It doesn't matter what your party is. You're dumb if you believe Trump. You're sick. You're sick. You need to go to the shrink and figure out why you can't understand what's going on.
They are finally on the side of justice. And as Rose said, don't muck it up in the Senate. Don't get too cute. We're all paying attention. If you want to add some additional protections for these survivors, go for it. But if you do anything that prevents any disclosure, you are not for the people and you are not part of this effort.
I mean, just imagine that they had to go out here and say that to MAGA Mike Johnson because he's begging the Senate to actually do. Hold on, before I switch it, let me hear Marjorie. He was begging the Senate after he realized the vote went on. He begged the Senate, please change this. Is all kinds of shit. Somebody's going to get hurt. It's what about the people that just happen to know Epstein? What about them? Their feelings count too. They're going to be victimized. Why? I mean, this man is a grown ass man. Literally went out there after how many years? How many years have these files been kept secret? How many years has justice been deferred? And this, the best MAGA Mike Johnson got? Like, damn, dude. Like, I'm starting to think it's his own kid that is like in the Epstein files and shit because he don't act like he want them out at all. Oh, shit. Here we go.
To check the temperature, and it was 32
Let's hear Marjorie.
degrees.
Our newfound friend. Thank you. Hey, actually, I don't really mind. I mean, I think she was very stupid to be on that bandwagon that she was on, but that doesn't mean all the things that she wants that I disagree with all of them. But this thing about chasing down, being discriminatory, that I don't roll with that, because I look at that as like divisive and a waste of time. But if she's talking about make America great, number one, we're supposed to have affordable health care. We're supposed to have affordable housing. If we're supposed to have, the prices of goods are supposed to be affordable, a decent job for Americans. I'm all with that. Why is that? That shouldn't be any debate whatsoever. You see what I mean? But I'm glad she's gotten and found her way to just talk about those things,
And my first thought was, hell has froze over. I want to speak goodness and love and hope into the women standing behind me and all of the other survivors whose names you don't even know, but stand with these women. They are survivors, and they are strong, and they are courageous, and they are daughters of God. They are not victims. These women have fought the most horrific fight that no woman should have to fight, and they did it by banding together and never giving up. And that's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought
and this
for
is
6 years for.
I didn't like how she was and all of this old shit. I like what she's doing now, but this is the thing. The crazy thing about it is that even if you didn't agree with her, which I didn't for a long time, but this new stuff I agree with. But that other stuff she was doing for years, capping for Trump, oh, hell no. And this whole thing about being discriminatory towards minorities and others, right? Affected people that are at risk. I think this is the crazy thing. You don't have to agree with her to understand one thing. She capped for Trump. She was capping for Trump for years. And you MAGA people that's out there still capping for Trump, pay attention. Because she was the most cappingest. She was capping. She was she didn't really get much for her cap either. Damn, she got paid the lowest amount for her cap for when it comes to Trump, right? And Trump still dissed her ass. Like, pay attention, MAGA. Pay attention, you people that's still capping for Trump. She was capping for him. As a matter of fact, you could never come close to the amount of cap because you're nobody. She went out there and got a stage, got a platform, ran for office, public office, and capped for his ass and stayed capping, stayed loyal, and he threw her ass out like she wasn't shit. Pay attention. Pay attention, MAGA. Like, on that level, I connect with her on that. I'm like, yo, that is foul, lady. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the man did that to you. I'm sorry he called you a traitor. That is low because, Marjorie, you weren't a traitor to him. You were not a traitor to his cause. Although I didn't agree with that bullshit, his cause. You started going off a little bit on Elon and this kind of stuff. Yes, that's great. Too bad you voted for Trump because he's the one that walked Elon into the Treasury. You could have thought about that. Like a lot of other people did and just said, fuck no, we ain't voting for Trump because he's going to do all this fucked up shit, right? You could have done what we did. But in any case, the part about her being a traitor, oh, hell no, she wasn't a traitor. She was a loyal person and a loyal woman. Women that's capping for Trump, pay attention. Pay attention. She was a loyal woman. And he threw her ass out like she was nothing.
And I gave him my loyalty for free.
And she's telling it humble as hell. It can't be any worse because she's being real right now. She's being real. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's being real. I give her credit. I give her credit for this. She is being real. I have to give real. Fuck that. I have to give real. I have to give it credit. Forget that, yo. I ain't crazy. I'm not crazy. If you being real, I'll give you at least credit for that.
In order to make this vote happen today, I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition.
He sure enough
Let
did.
me tell you what a traitor is.
Ooh, she said, let me tell you what a traitor is. Damn, Marjorie. Go, girl.
Traitor is an American for standing with these women and refusing to take my name
Click the like button, y'all.
off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves.
Oh, she is speaking facts. She's speaking facts right here. She's not bullshitting. Go ahead, girl. I got your back.
Standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves.
Exactly. That's exactly what a traitor is. And Trump is that.
A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
And you know Trump ain't going nowhere near that. He's like, I ain't standing up for these women at all. Trump is in the... Yo, Trump is in the office right now. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? He's running. He's losing his damn mind. You thought Trump lost his mind the other day? He was having a narcissistic breakdown of the highest proportion. There's going to be ketchup on the wall, hamburger, fucking McDonald's wrappers on everywhere. I mean, it's just, damn, this ain't good. This is not good. I guarantee you, next time you see Trump, he's going to be like, well, no, I'm doing good. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing great. Yeah. I was just talking to somebody from another country. It's like, and they just didn't do right by the tariffs. Yo, this dude is going to look, he might die. Just hearing this news, I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think you're going to see Trump on camera again, because what has just been dealt to him is the exact opposite of what he spent all his days and nights and money and power and leverages working against. And it happened anyway. Trump ain't having a good time right now. I'm telling you, he is have people around him are like, God damn, oh my God, let's get out of here. People around, I guarantee he's in a room by himself, pretty much. And if he comes out of that room, it's only to prove that he ain't for a second. Then he's going to go back in. This is killing him.
And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files, but the real fight will happen after that.
Right. So
well,
so there you go. She actually spit fire there. I give her a hand. There you go, Marjorie. Good for you. Good job. I don't trust her though, but I do respect her a little more. Actually, I respect her a little more. But let's see here.
We begin with breaking news from Washington, where the Senate has agreed unanimously to pass a bill forcing the Justice Department to release all files related to its investigation of convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That's after the House of Representatives passed the bill by a vote of 427 to 1. President Donald Trump has already signaled that he will sign the bill once it gets to his desk, but it remains uncertain if federal prosecutors will unveil any documents shedding new light on Epstein's relationship with Trump, who claims he broke ties with the financier long ago.
On this vote, the yeas are...
Yo, this is European news. This is French news right here. I mean, this is the biggest story on earth. People around the world, listen, I told you, there was an election here in Copenhagen yesterday, and there's probably elections around Europe too, regional elections, right? So that's like different regions of Denmark vote for their, what party and what policies they want, right? And since I'm in Copenhagen, actually for the first time in a long time, the left really picked up a lot of seats. Like the parties that are more for social benefits and green energy, these kind of things, things for the youth activities and stuff like that. The parties that's with that, right, and also elder care and different things like that. The parties that are pretty much like that, they got a lot more seats here. And I think it's because the corruption from Trump, everybody saw that, and people's lives are affected by Trump. They saw J.D. Vance and Trump insult Denmark plenty of times. People saw that. And I think they put 2 and 2 together with Elon Musk, the corruption and all of that. And we're like, you know what? We can't have any corruption here. Corruption is going to bring bad news and bad friends, right? Bad people around. And I think it's going to go like that. There's going to be a lot of left, picking up steam across the EU. I think so. People are not digging. Trump exposed the flaws in corruption. When you're corrupt, you can be blackmailed and your whole country can be blackmailed. That's what comes out of it.
427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed.
All but one member of the House signed off on a bill that just months ago seemed like a pipe dream. But persistent pressure from within the Republican Party.
And who's the one Republican that voted no? I mean, who voted no? Who's the one Republican?
And the public changed the equation. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted on prostitution charges in 2008, before being charged with sex trafficking minors in 2019. Later that year, he killed himself in prison while awaiting trial. While there are questions,
but his brother said he didn't,
about the source of his wealth and how he managed to abuse so many girls for so long, conspiracy theories focus on the late financier's death and speculate if one of his powerful former friends ordered his killing. The bill would require the U.S. Justice Department to...
And I think when you're a person like Trump, I put it to this way. If you did have anything to do with it, you would probably be worried shitless right now, because the moment you are not the president anymore, something like that, you would be up for it, I'm not too sure how much immunity. We talked about this yesterday in the live last night and went over some things. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to convict any president of an act like that at this point because of the Supreme Court. But just being known for it on record is horrible. Like, he would hate that, his family would hate that, and everybody's not immune. Like, he would be immune possibly and very likely, but his family wouldn't be, and anybody else that helped him wouldn't be. You see what I mean? So yeah. Let's go on. I think he's scared shitless.
To release all files and communicate.
Remember, even if he never admits it, that he did it, just knowing that he did it, if he did it, would be driving him crazy right now.
Communications related to Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days, as well as details from the investigation into his death.
I want everybody to take a look. I know everybody sees us today as grown adults, but we are fighting for the children that were abandoned and left behind in the reckoning. This is who you're fighting for. This is who Congress is fighting for. This is who the House of Representatives are fighting for. And hopefully the Senate will fight for us too.
The last step before the bill can become law is the signature of the president himself, who reaffirmed that he had no relationship with Epstein.
He looked crazy as hell right here. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He's looking at women right here, right? Isn't that him? Let me see something here. He's looking at women. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, even though he's married. That wouldn't be a good look for a married man. But Trump don't give a damn about that. But in any case, let me just slow it down. I just want to see his eyes for a second. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. He's very excited.
Why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, as far as the Epstein files is...
Listen to this shit. Why don't you just release the Epstein files now? Look at his I'm so glad this is in slow-mo. Listen to his excuse. This is insane.
President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, as far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert.
So he thought he was a sick pervert, but it turns out later he had Thanksgiving with the dude, right? According to Jeffrey Epstein, it's like in 2017. Dude is cold busted. He's cold busted. I mean, I don't see why Congress and the Senate is not moving to impeach him right now. Like, don't wait another goddamn week. Get it over with. Come on, man. Like, what are you waiting for? There's nothing left to see. Anything else you can find out, that's great. But at the same time, it's not necessary because the dude has already shown he's foul as hell. He's foul. He should not be in the office. He should not be the president of the United States. Every second he's there is a second every American in the country is being harmed. There is nothing good that can come from him. I mean, just continuing this thing like he can be a president that knows how to govern, that's just crazy. You have to be crazy to go along with that at this point.
The bill's passage was a major win for survivors in their quest for justice.
By Epstein and Maxwell.
Earlier, I spoke to Larry Sabato, who is a professor of politics at the University of Virginia in the U.S. I started by asking him, how close are we to actually seeing the Epstein files?
Good question. Now, let me ask you a question. How close are we in the chat? How close are we in the chat? Let me look at the chat here. How close are we to actually seeing the Epstein files? Let me see who I can ask. Let's see here. Tune JJ, how close are we? Eric Klein, how close are we? What is this? Advocate him, how close are we to seeing the Epstein files? Voting, yes. How close are we? Ryan, how close are we? Tia, what's up, Tia? How close are we, Tia? Everybody in the chat, how close are we to seeing the Epstein files? A month? A week? Right? You know, let me know. Is it a month, a week? Is it a year? What is it? What do you think? What's your guess?
Well, a professor of politics at the University of Virginia in the U.S. I started by asking him, how close are we to actually seeing the Epstein files?
Well, we'll see something relatively quickly because there is a 30-day time limit in the bill. But that doesn't mean we're going to see everything. The Trump people and the Trump Justice Department decided to open an investigation just a few days ago into, quote, Democrats who were involved in the Epstein activities. And what that does is it freezes some documents. They can't be released as long as an investigation is underway. So we'll see how much we actually get. We'll see whether all the documents are still there we'll never know for sure, as we have in so many other federal investigations. Things disappear; they're misplaced. It's really remarkable.
Hey T, put Dawn's just put her what do you call it? Yeah, put her name or whatever. I forget what you call it. Tag. Put her tag in the chat.
But this is a tremendous turnaround for Donald Trump. He was forced to give in because he was going to be embarrassed. He was going to lose by a wide margin, including in his own party, which he has controlled tightly since he got into his second term.
Well, before we get into more details about what we're actually going to see, let's talk about the political question, because as you said, this was a big reversal. President Trump had the power to release the files all along. So this passing of the bill almost unanimously in both houses of Congress is really about Congress trying to force Trump to do something that he doesn't want to do, isn't it?
Yeah, facts. It's clear. Trump didn't want to do this shit unless you just believe anything he says from day to day, you know, but Trump consistently fought against it.
Yes, it is. And you see, Trump thought that just as in every other case since he's taken office again, he could bully the Republican Congress to follow his wishes, and they would, in the end, do so. He even dragged one Republican Congresswoman into the Situation Room at the White House, where wars are run from, to try and convince her to change her vote. She refused to do so, and that was pretty much the standard among Republicans until they all caved in today, and it became almost unanimous. One Republican continued to back Trump.
And why, in your assessment, are Republicans who have so long been marching in lockstep with Trump turning against him seemingly on this issue?
They're turning against him because their own base in their districts and states, same people who voted for Trump, are saying they absolutely cannot support this because anyone involved in trafficking of young girls must be exposed and punished for it. And in the end, votes matter more than presidential pressure. And those votes can either elect or defeat any member of Congress when they're running for re-election and they have to get renominated in a primary.
All right, so let me ask y'all a question in the chat. How many of you all believe Trump should be impeached already? Like, you know, that you know enough now and he should just be impeached. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he should be impeached. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't think he should be impeached.
And we've seen...
All right, let me see here. Let's get on with this. Here we go.
And it becoming law here in Washington.
Things accelerated quickly. Things don't move forever in Washington, D.C., and then all of a sudden they do, and that's what happened.
But 427-1 over in the House. It was unanimous in the Senate. Congressman Massey, for you, as the Republican who led this, obviously bipartisan, but as the Republican who led this, what do you say to those members who
Okay, so it's only 3 people that think he shouldn't be impeached. Damn, okay, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how any sane person could not think it's enough now. I mean,
months refuse to put their name.
I mean, keep this in mind. It takes work to impeach people, just like it takes work to get in there and fill out some papers, write a bill, and pass it. That's the same damn thing it takes to do the impeachment. Although they could do it in one day in the House and the Senate, just like they did this. It can happen in one day. How many of y'all want it to happen in one day? If you want it to happen in one day, put a 1 and a 1 in the chat. Put 2 1s in the chat. I want this shit to happen in one day. I want him out. I want him impeached in the Congress and in the Senate. I want him impeached in both. Just take him out of power. Like, this guy is too much. Let me know what you think.
Names on
Should it be in one day?
Your discharge petition, and then wound up voting for this today.
All that's necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to...
I mean, they getting paid our tax dollars. What the fuck? I ain't got no money to waste. Who got money to waste? Who got money to waste out here? It's our tax dollars. What the hell? And he already showed you what he planned on doing with your tax dollars. He could just throw your shit out the window. He don't care. Trump doesn't care. He would just light your fucking shit up. Just burn it up and like, oh, fuck it. Ha ha. You little poor people, you working class losers. Ha ha. Like, I'm like, who needs more days with that? Like, fuck that. Like, if you're going to rob and steal from me, at least be polite. But he's like rude as fuck.
To do nothing.
Trump will tell you. Trump will go, nanny boo. You see this? You see these snap checks? Ha ha. Well, guess what? I don't think I'm going to release them. And then just go back in the house and act like that was a normal day.
And we had good men doing nothing for 5 months. And really, our speaker was disparaging our legislation for 5 months. He ended up voting for it.
Yo, who said his voting for our lives said he told you all were dumb a long time ago. Hey, and what the fuck they do? They just stayed along for the ride. Nah, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna go to another Trump rally. Like, damn.
And he could have saved us all a lot of trouble.
Okay.
He could have brought justice to the survivors here 5 months sooner if he just brought the bill to the floor.
Justice could have been brought 5 months sooner. I mean, there was one member, Clay Higgins.
Look, 5 months. He wasted 5 months of your time. What? And he got paid for it. What else how much more time do you have? Do you have more fucking time? Like, I don't. Listen, let me tell you. Not only, I don't even have time for the slightest bullshit, but this is real. Like, do you really have more time? What do you want him to do next to fuck your life up? I mean, is that what you want? Like, okay.
Who voted against it? Have you spoken to him or heard why exactly he was opposed to this when every single other member of the House voted for it?
No, Thomas tells me that he thought it was hypocritical for Speaker Johnson to be saying it's a bad bill, and then suddenly telling everyone to vote for it. But the important things here is the
Speaker Johnson, it's a bad bill, but I want everybody to vote for it.
Survivors.
Okay.
I mean, they had to come to the Capitol twice, once on September 3rd when the story was dying, when the Speaker had shut down Congress, and they really caught the nation's attention. That gave us momentum. Look, we had to overcome the president. We had to overcome the cabinet. We had to overcome the speaker. We had to overcome the Congress being shut down. We had to overcome them not swearing in the 218th member of Congress. And the only reason it happened is that the survivors came twice, and then they came again today. And the powerful stories that they told. And the president ultimately saw that he was going to lose 50, 60, 70, even more votes. And he said, look, I don't want to do that. I'm going to sign it. He should have the survivors there when he signs it. That's the one thing I really...
Do you think... That's a great question. Thank you. Do you think Trump, if he signs it, like what do you think Trump is going to do? First of all, I think Trump might sign it, but it might be the last fucking thing he does. Like, he's finished. Trump is finished. You know what I mean? But it's going to take him some days. I think Trump is going to disappear for some days because, he's got to have that narcissist explosion, and it's got to be in private. Can't be in public. Then he's going to reappear, tell MAGA Mike Johnson to get the bill on his desk. Then he's going to bitch and moan, talk about, some people, he's going to make up imaginary people. Some people, they've been a little worried about folks that might get hurt, unnecessarily and, all this blah, blah, blah. He's going to, give you his spin, of course. It's always going to be his spin. Other people with some things he's heard, what he heard, And then he's going to talk about Obama, the Democrats, la, la, la. He's going to do that whole spiel. But he's going to sign it. Because if he doesn't sign it, impeachment is the next thing they're going to do. It's that simple. So Trump has to sign this. Either way, this is a crossroads for Trump. You're out. Either way, you're out, Trump. Either way, you're fucking out, dude. You're out either, by signing this. And it takes a couple of weeks, a month or two before they turn over all the records, 3 months, maybe by Christmas. But let me tell you, there's a whole lot of fucking people that hate Trump in the House, in the Senate, and they will be working every hour. Talk about going to work. They're going to be working 24 hours a day up in there. Some of these people ain't going to go home, yo. Some of these people, they are not going to waste any time whatsoever. And then MAGA Mike Johnson is going to be out there in front talking about, well, listen, why don't they just go home, take a break? You know, it doesn't have to be so fast. He's got 4 more years. He's going to be capping for Trump. But I think it's over. I think it's over.
Is important because the president of the United States,
if he don't sign it, it's impeachment in a week. If he does sign it, it's impeachment in 3-4 months.
should acknowledge what happened to these women and how they were raped, how they were abused. This is not a hoax. That would be such a powerful statement. And him saying,
this is what happens when you fuck with a lot of people the wrong
this
way.
Epstein class needs to be held accountable. They need to go.
Jenna Lisa, you're shaking your head yes when Congressman Khanna is saying that the president should have you and the other survivors there when he signs this bill.
He owes us that much. He owes us an apology. For sure.
He owes us an apology. He owes us an apology. Now, I want to hear, listen, look at this. Lita Mears says, you sound so ignorant. Man, you sound like a weirdo because you're against these victims. Like, what's your problem? Something happened to you? Like, damn, like, I side with the victims here, the people that's doing the work and the time, spending the time. It's like, come on, like, you haven't had enough, you haven't seen enough, you still capping. I got you.
Sure, and I think that would be one way of.
There are some people that's still going to cap, and like I said, trolls going to be trolls. I don't know if that's a troll or a real voter, but you know,
Of showing some remorse for.
You need better people to emulate, straight up.
This drawn out process that didn't need to be.
And you don't see this in a political way. I was listening to you this morning. You said you voted for President Trump, actually, but your plea was to stop making this about him and to essentially start making it about y'all.
Yeah, I mean, he really ran his campaign on this.
Facts. That's what it is. Stop making it about him and making it about them. Make it about the victims, and stop making it about Republican and Democrat. Yo, when you gonna focus? When you gonna hear what the victims want? Like, hey, and yes, I saw somebody else write impeach in the chat. Exactly, impeach this. Yo, this is a waste of energy. No company can think about this. Trump said he's a businessman and all that. No company can survive a motherfucker like Trump. None. No company. He drives companies into the ground.
But your plea was to stop making this about him.
And he's your goddamn leader. Like, he's about to drive your life into the ground. Like, seriously.
And to essentially start making it about y'all.
Yeah, I mean, he really ran his campaign on this. This is why I voted for him. This release of these files has been so important to me for so long that when he ran with that, I really had some hope that someone was going to do something about it, no matter what the motive was, right?
And that's so ill. He gave all these victims some hope when he was like, we going to release the files, right? Isn't that what he did? He gave all these people some hope. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Trump, they all gave all these victims some hope, but they just did it just for politics. They had no intention of releasing these files whatsoever. And that is foul. That's the foulest you could be. Like, can you be any lower of a human being? Like, really? That's
behind
terrible.
it that he was going to release them and so solidarity with us. But then he completely flipped. And I mean, he was even working with our lawyers and stuff. So it was really hard to go from helping us to completely turning on us and then calling it a Democratic hoax when he knew it wasn't. So he thought it was just a political play, and I think that was wrong, and I think that added fuel to the fire against both parties and where it didn't need to.
She has documented each step that Trump has made that were hypocritical. Each step she outlined, and that means they really coming after your ass. You can't run. See, a narcissist can't run from these kind of facts. Not when you just, keep it categorized in an order. You know what I mean?
But
sequential. Listen to this.
I was going to release them, and with that, I really had some hope that someone was going to do something about it, no matter what the motive was, right, behind it, that he was going to release them and so solidarity with us.
She thought he was going to release them in solidarity with the victims upon arriving in the White House. that didn't happen. And then what's next?
But then he completely flipped. And I mean, he was even working with our lawyers and stuff. So
But then he completely flipped.
it was really hard.
And when was that? That was when he got in the White House.
To go from helping us to completely turning on us. And then
But that's what a narcissist do. That's what some lying ass scammers do. They were foul. They sat up there and played with these women's emotions, these victims' emotions, like scum. Like scum. They used them to get elected. And when they got elected, turned their backs on them, yo.
then calling it a Democratic hoax when he knew it wasn't. So he thought it was just a political play.
So let me ask y'all, is it a Democratic hoax? If you believe this is a Democratic hoax, if you believe this is a Democratic hoax, put a H for hoax in the chat. And if you don't, then put an X, put an X, H and X. If you believe this is a hoax, put an H in the chat. If you believe it's not, put an X.
And I think that was wrong. And I think that added fuel to the fire against both parties and where it didn't need to be.
Wendy, do you think that what happened today on Capitol Hill and what the congressmen here have been fighting for helps put survivors back at the forefront of this instead of politics being at the front of this?
I think it's our best attempt yet. Yes.
Yeah, I want to see who got
and
the
we are
nerve.
trying. I think it's on.
I want to see who got the nerve to say it's a hoax. Let me see here. Who says it's a hoax? Where you at? Look at this. Den 713. I feel sorry for you, man. Somebody gonna sell you anything. In fact, they're gonna sell you into slavery. All right, so you keep thinking like that.
It today shows us that we are being seen and we're being heard, and if we can keep that momentum, then I think that's
it's a good lesson. Actually, it's a good lesson in standing up for yourself, because they haven't made this shit easy at all. Like, how many of you think you could go this far as a victim? Being victimized and then having to go through all these psychological hurdles of people promising you they're going to help and then turn their backs on you over and over and over, and having to be due diligent about it. Just keep on moving forward. I mean, that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. I give them a lot of credit. These women are not weak at all. Like, they came after their truth, fought for their truth in the face of powerful people that on any normal day of the week, they would try to disappear you or ruin your life. Spread lies around you, make your life hard to, get a loan canceled that you have for your house or some shit, buy your house and kick you out of it. You know what I'm saying? Wicked shit like that. Like, oh, what is this? Let me see here.
Very outspoken about this and talked about how important this transparency is for you.
All right, so those are the victims. Let's see here. What else we got? I'm so happy for the victims, by the way. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. It does kind of show that they got through this, and the legal hurdles. The only thing left is now the president, and that is great because you can't really. Oh, what? Survivor breaks her silence on list, Mar-a-Lago, and the fight for. Okay, and it's actually amazing. It's actually amazing that they got it this far to Trump's
Ali
desk.
Vitale is available to us by phone. She's been covering this story all day long for us. Ali, what are you hearing?
Nicole, the one moment that I thought the Senate might take its time with this, and ultimately they did the exact opposite. And we understood that Senator Chuck Schumer had a plan to ask unanimous consent to either deem this bill.
All right, now this is another interesting thing. I notice folks do talk about Schumer. Folks generally talk about leaders, in general. And Schumer's the leader of the Democrat minority in the Senate. And Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the minority party in Congress, right? And in the House. And usually a lot of the criticisms go to the leaders in general, because people expect the leaders to kind of be able to whip everybody else into a position, right? And but I think sometimes, I put it to you this way, People were dissing Schumer just a day ago when he voted he didn't vote, but people accused him of getting senators to vote against the shutdown or to open the government back up without any concessions, without concessions to health care, without, any real concessions to the other things, and no guarantees from Trump at all. Right. People criticize Schumer, but right here, Schumer is the one who got it through. Right. Basically, Schumer is the one who got it through the Senate with unanimous. Am I correct? Let me know if that process is a little different than what I think it is.
Bill passed, or to deem that they should hold a vote on it. You know the Senate so well. If all 100 of them agree to anything, they can speed up or slow down the process as much as they want. In this instance, Schumer just went.
Hey, look. Somebody said so many Democrats are on those files. You guys are going to destroy your own party. I don't know what's wrong with you. What the hell's wrong? If you got so many Democrats in it, then your party's destroyed already. So your country's destroyed if you don't release these files. You're going to let people be blackmailed forever and forever and forever. So in other words, you rather get nothing done politically because you got all kinds of Democrats and Republicans, quote unquote, in the files. And so whoever got access to the files and whoever got their secrets on dial that Epstein exposed them to can just pick up their phone and be like, hey, listen, you vote this way, then I'm going to release the files. Is that what you want? This is no choice. Either the files are going to be released no matter who is in it, or you're not going to have the kind of politics you want in your own country, because that's what blackmail does. That's what's going on here. It's not about any party. I could give a damn what party. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I don't give a fuck what party you in. A pedophile and a weirdo and espionage and blackmail is fucked up to any party and anybody, any citizen, whether you have a party or not. Don't you get it? Catch up. You got to catch up to what's going on here in your own country.
The floor in the last few minutes asked them to deem unanimously that this had passed the Senate without any further action, and he got it. There were no objections. The motion was ordered, and now at this point, it is basically considered passed. The House still has yet to send the bill over. There's that, of course, transmission between the chambers. But once the House does that, there is no more action expected on this bill. It will go to Trump's desk after being sent by the House, after being transmitted. An overwhelming day of bipartisanship on an issue that has proven to be one of the thorniest, most complex, most bitter issues that this chamber has grappled with over the course of the last few months.
Mean that the files will be released, or does that mean that Trump will invoke the on
48 hours that this train was leaving the station, and he either had to get on board or risk getting run over by it. So he
Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all.
has said now that he's going to sign that.
And does that mean that the files will be released, or does that mean that Trump will invoke the ongoing investigation excuse?
See, I think that is the open.
Okay, yeah, there it is. So, how many of you think Trump is going to invoke the same thing that there's an investigation, so we can't release the files? If you think Trump is going to do that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. Let me see. If you think Trump is going to use start some investigation and say, see, we can't release it during an investigation. If you think he's going to do that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. Me personally, I don't think he's going to. I mean, he might try. Now, he might try, but I think for Trump, all roads lead to impeachment at this point. So let me see. Let's see if he did do that and say there's an investigation going on. I see him being impeached. If he doesn't sign it for any reason, I see him as being impeached. And if he signs it, I see him being impeached in about 4 months maximum. I don't see it going longer than that. I see impeachment on all roads. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, but a lot of you think he's going to pull the investigation thing. I see. Right. Okay. I mean, that's possible. That is possible. I mean, since when has Trump ever, passed up on a scamming, on just being like, playing a game, manipulating and shit? Since when has he done that yet? He has a deep-seated behavioral issue that always says, let me see if I can scam the people one more fucking time. I mean, this motherfucker, yo. He can't help it. He can't help it.
Question, right? I've had multiple conversations with people like Thomas.
Mean that Trump will invoke the ongoing investigation excuse?
See, I think that is the open question, right? I've had multiple conversations with people like Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna today who say that is one of their concerns. The idea that Trump is now showing new interest in Pam Bondi and others into opening new investigations. And of course, that's why this kind of transparency couldn't be demanded during the Biden years, because when these investigations are open, you don't have the ability to just openly ask for full transparency and full release. And so that is one of the concerns that these members have. The other piece of this that I think is interesting.
Yeah, he's going the scamming route. He's going the scamming route. He already said he wanted, this is already preconceived. They've already gone out and said, Pam Bondi, you better find a ham sandwich to indict, goddammit. And it better have actually, to Trump, it don't even matter if it's a Democrat or anything. He's going to indict some goldfish and shit. Any indictment is good for Trump. But again, there's a reaction that's going to come from anything that Trump decides to do. And I think bullshitting the people, I think going this route, opening up an investigation, I don't think it's going to work. I think that's going to result in pretty fast impeachment. I think not signing it is going to result in pretty fast impeachment. And I think signing it is going to result in about impeachment in 4 months. I don't see him going on past this. This is a killer for Trump. What's in those files is a killer for Trump, and it's a killer for his administration. All these people involved, all the lying and the covering up. See, you can cover shit up, but don't just blatantly come out to the public on camera every day and flip-flop on your story and lie and make up all kinds of outrageous shit so people know you're lying. And that's what his administration did. They not good liars. I remember Pam Bondi was like, they asked her a question like, can you tell us the la 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 and la la la? I forget. This was in the Senate. And she was like, I can't tell you. I would never tell you. She made it be like personal and shit. Like, they made it clear they ain't cooperating with no fucking body except Trump. Okay? They said fuck the courts. Fuck you, and you. They were like bold about it. So they made it very clear they're not unbiased. They made it very clear they are only going to do what Trump wants them to do. And that means you can't govern. That means you can't be a part of government when you do that.
The Speaker of the House himself was trying to compel the Senate to do something.
Involving them won't help Trump. I don't think it's going to stop people from impeaching. It might look good a little bit, but I think the truth is coming out
Some kind of
regardless of what he does.
When it came to transparency and the kind of information that is released, basically further redactions of names, more privacy. That's something that Massey, Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and others who support this bill as it's written say is not necessary and worries them because it's not the kind of transparency that they or, frankly, the survivors have been pushing for. But there's a few different pitfalls.
Oh, and they don't give a damn about the Pam Bondi don't give a damn about what the survivors want. Cass Patel don't give a damn on what the survivors want. Donald J. Trump don't give a damn what the survivors want. I mean, they made that clear. These women were out there in D.C. and they didn't give a damn. These women asked them, come interview us, and they didn't give a damn. Like, that's what's going on here. This is very, very bad, and it's the worst you could ever do. It's the worst you could ever do. It makes you wonder, like, is it designed to be insulting to people, to the American people? Is it designed to be that way? Or is it who is it personal towards? Is it personal towards the victims or the American people and just everybody, the victims and everybody else? Like, I mean, their administration spit in the face of the American people, like, and these victims. Like, if that wasn't enough, but the victims too, they made it seem like we don't have to care about what you think. Who are you? Like, you're a victim. That makes you fucking guilty. Like, that's how they treated the victims.
That people were concerned.
Like, it's a hoax. You're phony. You're part of the problem in Washington, you victims.
About that was one of them. And of course, the way that the Trump administration
Yeah, for real. Can't hide from God. I hear you.
might say that they're being transparent, but then quietly behind the scenes try to move for non-transparency moves like opening investigations that would make releasing these files in full difficult, if not impossible. That is very much still on the table. The thing taken off the table is that the Senate is apparently not going to do any amendments on it, thusly leaving it as written and not listening to the Speaker, who was really desiring those kinds of changes.
That right there shows you a real break in the Republican Party. So this is the first time you've seen a real deep crack. Like before it was with the constituents, with MAGA, they had a split, right? But now it's not that. Now it's the actual senators and the congressional members. They're split. You know, now it's like the lawmakers for the Republican Party basically are not backing Trump anymore. They broke off right there. When they told, at least in the Senate, and I believe that's going to go back to the House, like they ain't going to just follow MAGA Mike Johnson anymore. It's over. It's over. You know, but the Senate said, yo, not only are we not going to waste our time having a hearing about this, we're going to say yes as it is. You don't even have to send it to us. Send it to the fucking president. We agree. And that means you won't get a united MAGA. You won't get a united Republican Party, I don't think, from this point forward, capping for Trump. I think it's pretty much over for Trump. And you only need 2/3 to impeach in any house. As long as you got 2/3 in both, you can get his ass out here in a day, right? And anybody else you need to. I think Trump is I think they're going to impeach him pretty soon. You know, that's what I think. Of course, it's just a guess, but I don't see why they wouldn't, you know, because once you go against Trump, he's coming after you. So you better get rid of him.
Rev, this is a massive political defeat for Donald Trump. And again, this
is the worst defeat you could have.
He's in is if he continues now to defy the will of the people. 81% of all Americans think that Donald Trump is hiding something and not releasing the files. If he
Hey, do me a favor. If you haven't clicked the like button, do me that favor. Click the like button, y'all.
defies the will of the House and the Senate
Subscribe also if you haven't subscribed.
and says it's an ongoing investigation, I can't release it, like he has done with his taxes for years and years and years by saying he's under audit, the political pressure and baggage just piles up for him. And if he releases them, we already know he's been briefed by his own Justice Department that his own name is in them. Which path? He's at the fork in the road. Which path do you think he chooses?
I think either way he chooses is perilous for him. But I have no way of guessing how somebody like him thinks. But I think that he's definitely in a real pickle, because if he tries the defense of there's ongoing investigations, yes, investigations you ordered. I mean, let's not forget, these are investigations. He doesn't know how to whisper and do things in the cloak of night. He publicly called on these investigations. So now we can't do what the Senate and the House has asked us to do, because I asked for an investigation with no evidence that I'm presenting on why these investigations are needed, after I didn't do this when I was president 4 years before. And he campaigned on, I'm going to release the files. Biden wouldn't do it. He made everybody forget he didn't do it before Biden. Mm-hmm. Biden wouldn't do it. I'll release the files. So now the public is saying, wait a minute, this is part of what the MAGA loyalists wanted. Release the files. You told us it was big Democrats. Now you don't want to release the files. Now you're going to tell us about investigations that were not there when you came in. It will backfire, I think, either way, but we don't know what's in the files. So it's a matter of him maybe saying, I'd rather risk this than that.
I think there's been a lot of talk. I think there's some people that know what's in the files. Number one, his brother, Epstein's brother, I'm pretty sure he told his brother a lot. And on top of that, Michael Wolff, I mean, he's been saying photographs with Trump with little girls. But I think it's worse. I think it's a lot of people. I think there's video, obviously, because witnesses, I mean, the victims, some of them have said that, yeah, Epstein had rooms full of, you know, he had the whole house cameraed up, and he had rooms, video rooms, where you operate the cameras from and the recording devices, and he even had people in some of them operating the shit live at some time. So to me, I think there's a whole lot. I think this is going to be very, very bad. And that's why I say it's great that they're going after the files. The files need to be released. It needs to be public record to protect the country, because you can't have congressional members, senators, presidents, judges, or even elites that do business with the government. You cannot have other people blackmailing them, foreign governments and other people that know these secrets. You can't have other rich people blackmailing congressional members, controlling their votes, or senators controlling their votes, or Supreme Court justices or judges controlling how they rule. You can't have that. So the only way you can stop that is to release these files. Otherwise, Republicans or Democrats, MAGA people or liberals, people that vote, citizens, will never have the basics. They will never have the basics taken care of in their country, because you will always have somebody manipulating the vote. You see what I mean? It's a rigged house. So, yeah, but that's my thoughts on it,
Because he knows what we don't know.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here. Yeah, because who knows what we don't know? Yeah, well, release them damn files. Release those damn files. Let's find out who knows. Let us all know. Let us all know what Epstein knows, and that's what Epstein wanted anyway, basically. So,
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, this is Dems. Damn, hold on. How did I get in there? That's the wrong one. Sorry about that. Yo, click the like button, y'all. Let me see something. Okay, now this is Adam Schiff's response
that went through the trove of Epstein documents.
Here it is. Here's
today, the House of Representatives.
This is his response, right?
Representatives voted to pass the Epstein Files bill, compelling the release of the Epstein Files, and the vote was overwhelming.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed.
It passed 427 to 1. And then, just as extraordinary, it came to the Senate. Senator Schumer brought up a unanimous consent resolution to pass the bill, and it passed without objection.
We have some breaking news to tell you about from Capitol Hill. The bill to release the Epstein files has passed by unanimous consent in the United States Senate. It now heads to Donald Trump's desk. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer made the request to pass the bill.
So to understand the whole permutations of the Epstein files and how we got to this moment, you have to go back to before Donald Trump became president again, when the president and others within MAGA world were pleading for the release of the Epstein files. We're talking in particular about a client list that Epstein allegedly had with significant society people that were the subject of.
It's so weird how they took the whole, the whole argument. They had all this theory all planned out, reminding you that over and over. Even Hillary Clinton was drinking baby blood. Don't y'all want to know if Hillary Clinton was drinking baby blood? Okay, don't you want to still know that? And they just shifted after they had that whole narrative put out there, and they ran on the narrative, and people voted on the narrative. I had people coming to me, talking to me like I'm stupid. What, you don't know Hillary Clinton drinking baby blood on Epstein Island? You didn't know that? You don't know this and that? And I was just like, I'm the type of person to where it's not that I don't believe something might be true. It's just that I don't buy every goddamn thing of anything. You know what I mean? Like, I could feel there was something not quite right about all the things being said. And it turns out now we know why, because it wasn't exactly all the same people they was talking about,
Of trafficking young women too.
I mean, none of these people said Elon Musk was on Epstein. Elon Musk was down with Epstein. None of them said that. None of them said Peter Thiel was down with Epstein too. Yeah, none of them said that. No. It was Hillary Clinton drinking baby blood and Bill Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton was there, but in any case, why stop now? Why stop when Trump gets in office? That's the crazy thing.
And so here, for example, is Kash Patel, now the FBI director, well before he was the FBI director, telling a right-wing podcaster how The FBI director is going to release the
Let's listen to the cap master, Cash.
Epstein files.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who?
Director is
FBI.
Epstein files.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is that. I mean, there's.
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
Who?
Is that? I mean, there's.
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
Is this an omen? He indicted his fucking self.
Is that? I mean, there's.
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on day one.
What kind of bullshit is this, yo? he happens to be the FBI director now. So what's up? How you doing, Cash Patel? What's the deal? Where the files at now? He never, ain't nobody here but us chickens, boss. I mean, how dumb is this? How dumb is this? This is crazy.
The FBI director is going to release the Epstein files.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who?
But who, Cash Patel? Who?
That is that. I mean, there's.
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
That's a self-indictment. So that means he has it.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on day one. Roll out the Black Book.
And
it got rolled out. Not.
Here's Pam Bondi, post-election, talking about how that client list is on her desk.
Maybe releasing
Damn, Adam Schiff is going in. I think he's been waiting for this.
the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
Look at her fake ass. Hold on. Let me just make this big because we really got to zoom in on her face so we can just see her lying right here. You know, let's go, y'all. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. All right, let's go.
It's released.
Talking about how that
Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk.
Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
So what followed all the
Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
So what followed
Review. That's been a directive.
Happen? Maybe releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
So what
She already seen it. And she was like, oh, goddamn.
followed all the promises during the campaign and even after the campaign to release the files and the client list was a long campaign of stonewalling the release of these documents. Apparently there were hundreds or even thousands of FBI agents that went through the trove of Epstein documents in the government's possession, flagging whenever the president's name was mentioned. And whether it was something in those documents or the frequency with which Trump appeared in the documents, the attitude of the Trump administration, people like Patel and like Bondi and like others, after election was markedly different than before election. That is, they now resisted the release of the files. In fact, here's Cash Patel saying that there was no client list, the one that he...
In a very, very suspicious way. Like, I wonder what happened there.
In fact, here's Cash Patel saying that there was no client list, the one that he proclaimed was subject to release by the FBI director. Now he's the FBI director. Here he is saying that this doesn't even exist.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others.
In fact, you might...
Oh, and look, and now Trump wants to prosecute. What the fuck? Look at this bullshit. So is Trump going to prosecute or is Cash Patel right? Who lied? Did Cash Patel lie to the president? Did Cash Patel lie to MAGA? Who did he lie to? Because Trump is like, find something.
Information that
To some,
This doesn't even exist.
did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question, Senator Kennedy's question.
Did he traffic to anyone else other than himself? Jeffrey Epstein, Cash Patel, you're the head of the FBI. You wanted the job. You thought Trump should run on it. Now you have the job. What say you?
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others.
In fact,
he's like, you weren't following me, man. The last 3 administrations until now, why would you even think there would be something in there? Like, what? It's not like I went out there and said it was there. I don't know. Where'd you get that from?
you might remember that Todd Blanche, the deputy attorney,
Dude, he just pulled the ultimate flop. Like, talk about, as a matter of fact, it just goes to show you assholes are born in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Really. I mean, really, this dude is a fucking asshole. Like, he's an asshole.
Determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others.
In fact,
he talked down to MAGA. Weren't you listening? God damn it, you stupid little hillbillies. We, in the last administration, in the last 3, I told you that means Biden, that means Obama, that means Hillary, that means them all. All of them came to the same conclusion. You weren't fucking listening.
That there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others.
In fact, you might,
including Bush,
might remember that Todd Blanche, the deputy attorney general, the number.
Look, he actually lied, because how could he come to that conclusion when Biden's administration had an active investigation and actually indicted someone? Her name is Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, these people want you to live in delusion land. Like, they have to be impeached. There's nothing positive coming out of this. They're literally just asking you to play the fool over and over and over again. But in any case, y'all, oh my God, this is too much for me.
Number 2 at the Justice Department made that bizarre.
Click the like button, y'all. Let's try to get it to 200. Click the like button, please.
Our visit to.
But this is some bullshit. I mean, this is him. This is that dude. That's that dude.
To Ghislaine Maxwell, this co-conspirator, ostensibly to get information, but really to try to get some exonerating statement by Maxwell, which he indeed got. She denied Trump's involvement in this stuff. Well, we know from documents that would be released by the estate that her testimony was false. Certainly there were a lot of contradictions in what she said and what has already been released by the estate. But nevertheless, Maxwell has been transferred to this minimum security facility, this kind of concierge prison where a convicted sex trafficker is not eligible to be transferred. And the administration has yet to answer how that came about. It seems certainly suggestive that having gotten what they wanted from Maxwell, that is exonerating statements, they gave her a quid pro quo, which was this cushy prison setting. I asked Kash Patel about this, and he refused to answer it during our nomination hearing.
This is crazy. I mean, they have every little detail down, and these folks, they just think they can fool anybody. You know, that's the thing about it. There's a bit of insult added to the wound. You know what I mean? It's like it adds insult to injury just to see how openly they are about lying. Basically, they will lie to anybody, you know, and this is what they're doing, lying to the American people, and they don't take accountability. They don't take the American people to be serious at all about anything. They can just lie to your face again, lie to your face again, come out tomorrow and lie some more. I mean, it's actually very, very bad what they're doing. It's shameful. It's really shameful, but it is what it is until people decide they want to impeach. So we'll see.
Claiming inexplicably that the Bureau of Prisons made this decision all on their own without any input from anyone else. That simply isn't the least bit credible. But that did not dim suspicions that the Trump administration was now engaged in a massive cover-up. And so you had a couple House members, Ro Khanna leading the effort, introduce legislation to release the Epstein files, and a Republican named Tom Massey initiate a discharge petition to force a vote on the Khanna bill. Now, a discharge petition is a procedural device where you can force a vote on something in the House of Representatives, even over the Speaker's opposition, if you can get 218 members to sign a petition, a discharge petition. So they gathered signatures, led by Massey and Khanna. They gathered signatures for this discharge petition until they had 217, just one short of the total necessary. And there was an election for...
Yeah, so we've been through all of that. I mean, this is, but it's crazy. It's facts. And it needs to be documented, you know. They were out of session for, what, a month and a half, right? Congress is out of session. I mean, just to avoid this, what happened today, right? Then Grahavia, right, she gets finally sworn in by Mr. Liar, Mike Johnson, right? Trump has the most retarded. Look at Trump. After this, look at what happens.
Many of the people some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein.
So now it's not a hoax. So now it's not a Democrat hoax, you see? And so what Trump, you know, the thing about Trump is that the only choice you have is to impeach him because he does not hold a standard. He says it's a hoax and at the same time wants to indict people. Kash Patel says that there's no one else there after he apparently went on record about, you know, being asked, what's there? Is there any more there? And while Trump is calling it a hoax, and Kash Patel says, yo, this is a hoax. That's what Kash Patel literally said. And now Trump is saying it's not a hoax. But Trump is against releasing the fucking files. He's the one that can release the files. He don't have to go through none of this shit. So it's apparent. There is no way, shape, or form you can think that this man is innocent. There is no way possible you can think that his administration is not trying to cover this up. They have zero credibility on the matter anymore. It is the worst of the worst. You know, they're literally covering up something that is likely very, 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 very bad. You know, me myself, it's bad enough if you're talking about 5 girls in a picture, but somehow naked, you know, topless, but somehow I think it's even worse. You know, I think it's even worse because there's a lot of people putting a lot of energy into fighting this. You don't get that many people doing it if it wasn't worse than just what you think it is. Like, really, it's already bad enough. I mean, the man could be impeached already. So what could be even worse? You see what I mean? It's not like people are stupid. They already had an idea that Trump was sleeping with little girls. They already got comfortable with that idea. People have already heard it be thrown around. I mean, it's been thrown around for a year or two now, longer. So it can't just be that.
Some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't.
Do you believe him? Do you believe him? Were they with him all the time and Trump wasn't? Is that quite true, or is that a lie?
I wasn't at all.
But of course,
he wasn't at all. Is that true? Trump, oh my God. This is his parents, if he had parents that were alive, they would have to be ashamed. They would have to be ashamed. Like, you can't do worse than this. You can't do worse than this. It's just not possible. You can't look worse than this on TV. The whole fucking world is watching. This ain't no cartoon. This is real fucking life, man. This guy is doing bad out there.
There's lots of photographic evidence that contradicts those claims. Here are just a few of those photographs. But then he's put on the spot about voting for this Kana Massey release the files bill, and the president commits to signing it. Even Speaker Johnson.
Yeah, Trump, he does that all the time. Of course I'm going to sign it. Yeah, I'm going to sign it. He's going to sign it, y'all. He's going to sign it.
Voted for this bill. Reminds me a bit.
But he's going to open an investigation at the same time, or even days before, an hour before, right? He's going to open up. In a couple of hours, we're about to hear about an indictment. It's going to be, who is it going to be? Who's the first indictment going to be against, y'all? Tell me in the chat. Who's the first indictment, Epstein indictment Trump is going to do? Which one? Now, is it going to be, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Adam Schiff and Epstein? Is it going to be Obama and Epstein, Hillary and Epstein? Who's it going to be? Is it Clinton? Let me know.
Bit of this begrudging scene from the death of Stalin.
Because if there's no open investigation, then he has to release the files.
In favor.
From the death of Stalin.
All those in favor. Carried unanimously. All right, next.
So now the bill has passed House and Senate and gone off to the president. And the president has said he will sign it. Maybe by the time you see this video, he will have already signed it. Does this mean that all of the Epstein files at long last are going to come out? Or do we have to be concerned that the administration or the president's allies will somehow conceal, cover up, or delete or shred emails that may be damaging to the president? That concern is real, because let's look at what's already come out of some of the early Epstein files. That included this birthday card signed by Donald Trump, which he denied ever sending. And we've seen...
Do y'all remember that? Yeah, he denied this. Trump says he did not send this. And this is a hell of a damn drawing. Like, what the hell? This is some really, really weird shit here. Let's see here. Let me just, can I, hold on. Did I do that right? Let me see something. If I go like this, I want to read the lines here just to remind people of what's actually on here. People that don't know. Let's see here. Now, what does this say? It says, yeah, this is the weirdest letter that Trump claims it's not him. He says someone, you know, I guess you could, what is this, forged his signature? Is that what they call it? This is what Trump is claiming. And, of course, it looks very, very good. But in any case, what it says is, okay, there must be more to life than having everything. That's the voiceover. And then Donald says, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is, Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do. Come to think of it, Donald. Oh, enigmas never age. This is Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me. What does it say? It was clear to me the time I saw you. Oh my God. It's because the text isn't that clear. A pal is, okay, and then Donald writes, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. Signed, Donald J. Trump. So that's signed by Trump. Trump says it's not signed by him, obviously. And he's not going to take credit for it at all. And yeah, what can you do about that? But this is what's going on. You know, this is the type of shit. This is Trump shit. For people that didn't know, this is from his birthday. This is allegedly from Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book, where a bunch of people made entries and gave him letters and cards and these kind of things, greetings. So.
This birthday card signed by Donald Trump, which he denied ever sending. And we've seen other emails that came out, for example, one of Epstein talking about, of course, Trump knew about the girls because he objected to Maxwell about stealing them from Mar-a-Lago. The girls because he objected. Epstein talking about other birthday card signed by Donald Trump, which he denied ever sending. And we've seen other emails that came out, for example, one of Epstein talking about, of course, Trump knew about the girls because he objected to Maxwell about stealing them from Mar-a-Lago. Or this email in which Epstein says that Trump spent hours at his home with one of these underage women. Epstein believes he has things in his possession that would be incriminating.
Let me look back at that email right there. What does that email say? Okay. That email says, 2 seconds. What does it say? I want you to realize that that dog hasn't barked. Damn, this is Jeffrey. Well, he's writing in code, obviously, because if the email gets out, they don't want people to know. So this is Epstein writing to Maxwell. Yeah. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim, okay, is Trump. Blank spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. So that's what Epstein wrote to Ghislaine Maxwell about Trump.
Underage
allegedly
women. Epstein believes he has things in his possession that would be incriminating of Donald Trump that the public at that time did not yet know of. And here's the White House press secretary trying to deny the truth of that or try to avoid the question altogether.
I mean, their whole shit is on tape, is on video. That's the crazy thing about it. When you put your own ass out there for look, they're doing that for taxpayer dollars. I mean, just for a job, a government job. That's pretty low. When you would sink that low for a government job, just to lie, like that's all you can do in a government job. You don't have no ethics. You don't have no morals, no other drive to serve the people. It's just like you don't care. You'll do anything for that measly check. Because let me tell you, they get paid, and I'm sure they have some, they're getting some inside information and shit like that, trying to make money off of it or whatever. I'm sure they're getting some under the table money. It's possible. Who knows? But if it comes down to them living off of that government check, that's not that much money. Like, to sell your soul for that job, man, you ain't got no morals. You ain't got
together.
No
Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong.
So
in any case, they got the whole shit mapped out. And you can see Adam Schiff is going to map it out because he's like, you know what? Now that the tide is turned, I may as well step on you now. I may as well get some get back, right? And I understand Schiff for doing that. I understand it because, after all, Trump has just been calling him shiftless the entire time. It's like, goddamn, zero respect. So Adam Schiff, he didn't break his role. He stayed in character, stayed respectful. I guess, he's being professional. He's being a lawmaker. He's being real about shit and not stooping into Trump world with his excuses and his way of doing things in a disrespectful way. But he's cataloging the shit. So, yeah, and I think that's what's going to kill Trump. This has all been cataloged in public. It's going to kill, Caroline Leavitt. I mean, this is their reputations. Kash Patel's reputation, Pam Bondi's reputation, all of their reputations, man. It's crazy.
The rich men who flew on the jets to the rape island should be protected against unfounded accusations, but
right, he's talking about MAGA Mike Johnson keeps talking about protecting other people that could be hurt that just happen to know Epstein. Like, this is his response to that.
He thinks that the rich men who flew on the jets to the rape island should be protected against unfounded accusations, but here's the problem. There are guilty men that his provisions that he wants would protect, that have never been investigated, that there are credible allegations of sexual abuse and rape against. And so the Senate would be fools to start trying to change this bill in the way that Speaker Johnson wants it changed.
And why do you think the Speaker changed his vote ultimately, or changed his tune, I should say, and then voted accordingly?
Two reasons, but they kind of go back to the same reason. Number one, Trump told him to do it, and this Speaker of the House is always going to do whatever President Trump wants. Number two,
I wonder if that's some sideways way of saying that they know there's more to why MAGA Mike Johnson does it. Like, does Trump have Mike Johnson blackmailed? Is there something else to this that maybe don't even have nothing to do with the Epstein files that Trump is holding over Mike Johnson's head? Because Mike Johnson is doing a whole lot of capping, like he's trying to protect his own son or something, or family member. This is not normal to cap for anybody this way, the way he does it. You know, he makes it seem like it's his own life on the line, like that he is personally invested, somehow has something to lose. I mean,
they both, I think, came to the conclusion that Trump was asking my colleagues to walk a plank that was going to cost them the majority, and then that it would be no good for the president or our speaker in that instance. So I think it was a political calculation.
Can you just explain, though, I mean, the whiplash that we were seeing here from going from this bill looking like it had no chance to now passing overwhelmingly and potentially being law by the end of the night?
Have I done it?
Hey, let me ask something. Anybody in the chat feel sorry for Trump? Anybody in the chat feel sorry for MAGA Mike Johnson? Anybody in the chat feel sorry for Pam Bondi, Kash Patel? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel sorry for any of them. If you don't fucking feel sorry for none of them at all, not even in the slightest, put a 2 in the chat. Just curious.
With you when you've said, surely you know this must be dead on arrival in the Senate or something.
Look.
No,
Matthew says he's he feels sorry for them. What the? They don't feel sorry for you. What the hell? You could be in jail for less. They wouldn't give a goddamn. What's wrong with you, man?
Has gone from
Some of y'all trolls are really deep.
Presumably dead on arrival.
I don't feel a goddamn thing for any of them. I'm actually enjoying them. And to be honest with you, I think they should lose everything. I think they're committing crimes. I think they don't give a shit about the United States of America or anybody in it, but they're selfish fucking asses capping for fucking pedophiles. How low can you go? You're disgusting. You're nobody.
Presumably getting vetoed to now getting fast-tracked and having a nearly...
And we're going to tell you to your face also.
...unanimous majority here in the House. And I think it's because 3 brave women, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, couldn't be flipped. I think all along they were hoping they could flip those women into taking their names off of the petition, and they never could.
It's a concern about the political fallout for the GOP, which caused the speaker to change his mind, you think?
Dying on that pedophile hill.
Absolutely.
Dying on that pedophile pill.
The president was pitting the GOP conference against our own base. Like 80% of Republicans wanted these files released, and the other 20% just didn't care. There was literally nobody who said not to release these files. And it was also a campaign promise. I think the calculation ultimately
they flipped on their own campaign promise publicly and capped on camera to the public when being interrogated. Why? Oh, well, there's nothing in the files anymore. There's nothing. That was a hoax.
The speaker and the president was a political...
Except now we're going to go prosecute Democrats, so it's not a hoax.
...calculation. They realized this could jeopardize the majority if they took the side, literally the side of pedophiles and rapists.
And what if they don't release the files now?
You know,
because they could say it's an investigation.
Excellent. See, this is real journalism. Fox wouldn't even ask that shit. You know, Fox wouldn't even take this line of questioning. You know, what happens now if they don't? Let's hear that question again.
If they took the side, literally the side of pedophiles and rapists.
And what if they don't release the files now?
What if they don't release the files now?
You know, because they could say it's an investigation that's ongoing.
Today they decided to pull the Band-Aid off. I hope they continue that effort in the Senate and in the White House. We will know when the Epstein files are released because men will go to prison. And until that happens, the justice hasn't been served. I know through the victims' lawyers, there are at least 20 credible accusations of
20 credible accusations. So that's 20 people. Who are those people that are going down? It sounds to me like some of them are sitting representatives and maybe they're donors, right? Maybe, or others could, apparently it's some people. 20 people is a whole lot of fucking people, they say credible. Hold on.
happens because men will go to prison. And until that happens, the justice hasn't been served. I know through the victims' lawyers, there are at least 20 credible accusations of rape and sex trafficking that have been relayed to the FBI, and they've done nothing about it. And it resides in their 302 files. The White House has announced a bunch of partisan investigations, accusations. I know through the victims' lawyers, there are at least 20 credible accusations of rape and sex trafficking that have been relayed to the FBI, and they've done nothing about it. And it resides in their 302 files. The White House has announced a bunch of partisan investigations.
302 files. Everybody write that down. It's in the 302 files, y'all. I'm going to snitch. Hey, did y'all hear that, everybody? He said it's in the 302 files, y'all. He said it. Let's hear it again.
To the FBI, and they've done nothing about it.
And they relayed the shit to the FBI, and they did nothing about it. That's Kash Patel. That's Pam Bondi.
Resides in their 302 files.
And it resides in the 302 files, y'all. 302. What area code is that? What state is that? 302. 302. Where y'all at out there? 302. Y'all here? What's up? Big up to the 302.
I know through the victims' lawyers, there are at least 20 credible accusations of rape and sex trafficking.
Where's Nate Dogg at?
That have been relayed
to the
FBI.
Talking to the people in the 302.
And it resides in their 302 files.
The 302 files.
The White House has announced a bunch of partisan investigations. I think that's a bad idea. This was never a partisan issue. And I think it's another bad idea if, I'm not sure their motivations, but if that was to create silos of information that can't be released based
Damn, they done thought of everything. Like, they not getting away with nothing
on these investigations. If, I'm not sure their motivations, but if that was to create silos of information that can't be released based on these investigations. But even if they start 10 investigations, there's no way they're going to cover up the crimes that have been perpetrated on 1,000 victims. So names of rich and powerful men will get released when the president signs this bill. And they are criminally liable at the DOJ and FBI if they don't release these files. This is a law. It's a steep effort, right? Not just to do a discharge petition.
Yeah, they're losing this. They can't. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. How long will it take? But I don't see it taking more than 6 months. So this is all going to be taken care of before the next election. And listen, people need to start thinking, how does this play out? Now, if you're worried about losing 2026, which I'm sure they are, and if anybody votes for anyone in this administration, you are just dumb. Why would you do it again? But let's just say they were thinking about the 2026 elections and thinking about their chances in it, right? Prolonging this shit ain't gonna help because this shit just blowing up in your face. Well, it could, because if all they're doing is scamming, and all they want to do is buy time so they can just keep scamming some more months. And as long as possible, I could see the point of delaying it. But there's no way in hell it's not coming out. And there's no way in hell they're going to win this, come anywhere close to winning any 2026 election. Like, voters are coming out against this entire administration. Anyone anyone connected to it. That includes J.D. Vance also, and the rest of them, Rubio, the rest of them, like everybody.
Get it passed through the House, but to get the Senate to pass it and get the White House to sign it. We're not there yet, but when we get there, this is not a subpoena. This is a law.
And so you are confident.
Yeah, it's not that exactly. It's not a subpoena. It's a law. So if they don't follow through with it, then and Trump, he's going to die on that not signing it. Once he signs it, it doesn't matter if it's, the rest of that shit, it's not going anywhere. His days are numbered.
The president tries to fight this.
So let's just say, do you think Trump will live longer? All right, let me know in the chat. Do you think Trump will live past 6 months, past a year, to even see any of this? That's my next question. If you think he will live to see 6 months down the line and see the outcome of this, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put it 2 in the chat. Let me put it 2 in the chat. I don't think he's going to even fucking live to see this, the outcome. So everybody else needs to think about themselves now. Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, Rubio, start thinking about yourself. It's not going to play out good.
Yes, I'm confident. And we sort of, we know when they're out because we know what some of
well, his body might be living, but his mind won't be.
These lists, who some of the men are. I don't have the names in my head right now. The ultimate thing that we could do is read the names on the floor of the House.
Yo, 20 men with credible allegations. 20 males. Yeah.
And that could happen, but what needs to happen is the FBI needs to release these names.
Is that something you might do if he resists this, if the DOJ releases this? Could you go to the floor and read these names?
We absolutely would do that. Marjorie would do that. I would do that. There are Democrats who would do that, and but that's not the right path forward. That's the last effort if we hit all of the walls. But so far, we're making it through the walls and over the walls, and we're getting this done.
And how much time are you willing to give the president and the administration to release these documents when this becomes law?
I've never set a timeline.
I'm setting a timeline next week. God damn it, we need to know.
Few days when it was clear that the bill was going to pass and was going to pass with significant support, or at least enough support from his party, that he changed course. I think it's also important to note that, as you said earlier, I think that the president could release all of these documents right now if he wanted to, or direct the Department of Justice to do so without there being a congressional vote. To your question, though, about behind the scenes, they were whipping against it. President Trump was whipping against it, encouraging Republicans not to vote for it up until he changed his mind. So, and I think lastly to that broad point, Steph, I would say you saw his posting on Truth Social today about, so this was before the Senate made its action to support this so quickly. He said he didn't care if when the Senate voted, and he wanted people to focus on the victories that his administration has had. I think that makes very clear that he doesn't see this as a victory, and it's not. It's not for him. It's been very, very politically damaging, and once he signs it, the question will be, does that help sweep it under the rug? I mean, it's obviously not getting swept under the rug, but does that help people move on from this issue, which he really wants to do politically, or does it not? And that will depend entirely.
Nah, this is a defining moment for Trump. He's not going to make it past this. Yeah, he's headed for impeachment. And if I was a voter, I mean, I am a voter. If I was a taxpayer, though, because I'm not. Although I'm an American citizen, I live outside the U.S., right? So I only report my taxes. I don't pay tax to the U.S. government. But having said that, if I was a taxpayer, I would be demanding my representative impeaches.
Fall is right around the corner. I feel like we're all going through.
Hold on. Oops. Why did I do that? I would be demanding that myself. Yeah, I don't see why anyone would want to continue paying for this nutty ass administration. I mean, they're just full of nuts. They're full of nuts. That's all they are. They're full of nuts.
Request to pass the bill that the House had just passed by an overwhelming majority. And I am the Republicans not wanting to block the bill because we confronted them that they would be forced to, relented and allowed my motion to pass. The motion is it's technical, but the motion says that when the House sends the bill over, it automatically goes to the president's desk. The Senate cannot delay it, cannot amend it, cannot change it in any way. We deemed it passed. That's the word, the technical word used. And so this was a very good thing. And Democrats fought and fought and fought to have this happen. It took too long, but we persisted and persisted and got it done. I want to give huge credit to the victims and their courage and their strength. It wouldn't have happened without them. But there's a long, long way to go. First, Johnson should send the bill over now. Right now, there's no reason it can't be on the president's desk in an hour. Second, the president has to sign it. You never know with him. He said he would. Let's wait and see. But third, we have to make sure that all of the documents are released, that there are no games. We know there's a corrupt Justice Department. We know that Bondi and Kash Patel do just what the president asks and wants. And we Democrats, I just had a meeting of 10 of my colleagues, are going to do everything we can.
Somebody asked in the chat, why didn't it come out during the Biden administration? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. There's a lot of American citizens. I don't know if you were an American citizen who asked that. Are you an American citizen? Teresa 1057? Your name sounds American, but if you are, just like you're hearing now, when you're hearing people saying that Trump might open up an investigation regarding the Epstein files, because that's how you would stop the release. You can't release something that's in an ongoing investigation. Teresa. So just so you know, you can't release something in an ongoing investigation. And I believe it's only like 2 or 3 months Biden was in office before that indictment came against Maxwell. So, and that was about the Epstein files, you see. So that's why they couldn't release it then. You see, that's the technical reason. Now, when she won that, I'm glad you asked the question though. When she lost the case, she immediately repealed it. You see what I mean? So even during the repeal, you can't release. You see? And then she didn't just repeal it once. She didn't just repeal it once. She repealed it twice. And a lot of people don't know this, but we just went through this information. This is the facts. She just got finished her second appeal in October this year, October 6th. So it had been, those files had been tied up technically for a minute. Now, I think what happened is that when the victims started asking, which is why you started seeing a lot more activity from the victims, because they're saying that you said you were going to release them on day one. They were saying that to Trump. He didn't do that, right? Even though it was still in appeal, right? Now, but his administration ran and knew that they already knew she was on an appeal when he was running, saying day one, day one, day one. That's what Trump was doing. So Trump was baiting people, voters. And now, October 6th, there's no more appeal. She's been refused twice. It went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, nah, we don't want to touch this. So now there's no reason why it can't be released. But Trump is talking about, instead of releasing it, it's his campaign promise. Instead of releasing it, it's not under appeal anymore. He's just was like, I ain't going to release the shit. And then Congress gets involved. MAGA Mike Johnson is like, this is a Democrat hoax. Trump is like, these files are all a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. Kash Patel was like, that shit is a hoax, man. There's nobody else worth indicting. There's no information in there that exists that is indictable, that you could use to indict anyone. There's simply no one else. And now, the 200 Grahalva, she's been sworn in now, and she signed the disposition. The disposition gets released and forced Congress to have a vote on it. The vote passes. it goes immediately over to the Senate, but it didn't go immediately. But the Senate was like, you ain't even got to send us the shit. We saying, yeah, without even seeing it. We like what you got. Send it to the president. That's essentially what went on. So if the president wants to indict someone, he could stop the release. You know, he could use that excuse, but they're already saying there's other procedures they could use to start releasing stuff too. It's a process. But my thoughts are this. When American people gonna get tired of fucking Trump and these shenanigans, this shenanigan ass administration, these shenanigan ass appointees, the shenanigan ass cabinet members, shenanigan ass government? Like, aren't you tired of being toyed with your own tax dollars? Like, don't you feel like a child, like a stepchild? Like, for real, don't you feel like, you know, the one the prince didn't go after, you know, the defect, the one that just like the princess that got treated bad while the other princess gets to go out and have it well? Like, don't you treat it away? Because Americans are being treated like stepchild right now, to be honest. That's my view about it. But in any case, thanks for asking the question. It's going to be people that are like, you know, no, Biden could have released the... Look, let's be honest. There's some people that hate Biden more than they hate Jeffrey Epstein, more than they hate Trump. Let's just be honest. There's some people that hate Kamala Harris more than they hate Epstein or Trump. You can never convince them.
Can to make sure all of it comes to light, and they don't hide evidence against anyone who might be incriminated by...
Yeah, exactly. Release the files. Who wrote that? Release the files. I like what Schumer is doing here. I mean, and he's doing his job. He's explaining it. You know, he's explaining his view. To me, he knows what the hell he's talking about. People don't always agree. There's other factors in there. Of course, people always accuse him because he's Jewish of being, you know, AIPAC money. But there is something called asymmetric politics. Keep in mind, Obama is the one who made a deal with Iran against Israel's wishes. So even though he got AIPAC money, that didn't mean they control everything he does. And I think when people throw that out there, it's a little insulting to people's intelligence, because just because you receive donor, you know, for some people that are just totally corrupt, of course, they do anything that donors want. For the politicians they don't do everything their donors suggest. Very simple. And you got to remember that there's more than one type. There's some that do and some that don't. You need to be honest about that and follow things, you know, because if you're not willing to acknowledge the details, you'll never. This is why you got in this situation in the first place. You know, generalizing, being fooled, the okey doke, you know, basically.
These documents. So good victory today. Fight continues until the American people see all of the documents, are satisfied that all of those documents are released and there's no game playing, no cover up. We are continuing to fight.
I mean, one thing I do like about Schumer is that he comes out the next day and he's coming back with more. So I'm not advocating for him, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, because I have some other views. Like I don't have any particular dislike for Schumer. And I don't agree. I don't believe all the shit people tell you. Like, I don't believe he concocted this thing to open up the government, you know, to get Democrats to go. I don't believe that. But I do believe as the minority whip, that he has to take the blame for that. And, you know, somebody else needs to have an opportunity to lead. You know, I don't ever believe one person should take up the seat too long. You take it up, but also show how good of a mentor you are by bringing other people to the front to lead as well. You know, it might have some impact in a way you never imagined, a positive impact. I mean, you know, so the battle is not on one person.
Leader Schumer, what are your, sorry.
Well, you got the first question.
I'll take the second. Leader Schumer, quick question. What exactly can you do to ensure that all the documents come out, given
Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. Appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed before.
Pam Bondi and given the Department of Justice, or having an active
We are going to make, we have many different ways that we are going to do everything we can to see that everything comes out. Pressure works. If not for the pressure from Democrats, this wouldn't have happened. Bondi didn't release documents. Bondi didn't do what she did. Change her mind, say yes, say no. Kash Patel didn't do what they did. Johnson didn't do what he did. Thune didn't do what he did. And the president didn't do what he did without pressure from Democrats. That pressure will continue in every way. And we have talked about 5 or 6 different ways that we're going to see that happens.
Thank you. Thank you for that. One of the criticisms that had come out of the Democrats was that this had also been an issue during the Biden administration, and that, why wasn't it taken up? In your opinion, why wasn't it taken up then?
All right, so that's your question right there. Teresa asked the same question, so let's hear what Schumer has to say about it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. One of the criticisms that had come out of the Democrats was that this had also been an issue during the Biden administration, and that, why wasn't it taken up? In your opinion, why wasn't it taken up then? Was it just that it was an open investigation and they didn't want to tip their hat?
The difference is real. President Trump campaigned on this. He promised to get this done. He's the one who's backed off on this, period. Yes.
Republicans are saying that you consented to adding this provision into the approach bill that would allow senators to sue.
I mean, what's even crazier is Trump is trying to get Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison. And that's who Biden prosecuted. So he even fired the prosecutor that convicted her. What kind of bullshit is that? How do you go back as a president and say, you know what? Who convicted Maxwell in the Biden administration? Oh, really? It was Comey? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fire her because I want the files released. I'm going to fire the prosecutor. What's his reason for firing the prosecutor? Because she prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the reason. And it's ridiculous, how it's just ridiculous how people can't see that. Somebody was being prosecuted. And are you mad about him trying to get? How many of you are mad about Trump trying to get Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison? Presumably, do you think Trump should give her a pardon? Oh, hold on, this is better yet. Are you angry that Trump allowed her to go to a softer prison cell? Are you angry about her going to a softer prison cell? If you're angry about that, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not, put a 2 in the chat. If it's okay and it don't matter to you, put a 2 in the chat. I'm curious about that. I'm insulted. I'm like, I mean, not that I'm surprised, because look at who we talk about. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Trump. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. It's his friend. Ghislaine Maxwell is his friend. If he can help her out, he can help her out. You know what I'm saying? If you were around other pedophiles, maybe it doesn't matter to you, right? So, hey, I might as well help her out. That's not so bad. I knew him too, right? What's so bad? She just knew him. That doesn't mean she committed any crimes. I think the Biden administration was too harsh on her. That was politically motivated prosecution. Huh? Is that what it is? Do you want the lady prosecuted or not? You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways, but Trump is trying to get her ass out of jail, and that's who Biden was working on when he was in office. She appealed. She put her shit in appeal twice. Even went up to the Supreme Court, and they got shot down there. You see what I'm saying?
Look, the bottom line is
October 6, 2025 is when she came out of the appeals process. So now Trump can give her a pardon or do whatever. But if he don't help her, she's staying in jail.
Provision. And we wanted to make sure that at least Democratic senators were protected from Bondi and others who might go after them. So we made it go prospective, not just retroactive. But I'd be for repealing all the provision, all of it. And I hope that from Bondi to make sure. Look, the bottom line is Thune wanted the provision. And we wanted to make sure that at least
yeah, that's right. Thune wanted the provision, but Thune ended up not helping not helping MAGA Mike Johnson. As a matter of fact, I have that article open right over here to the right. I'm going to take a look at that in a second.
Democratic senators were protected from Bondi and others who might go after them. So we made it go prospective, not just retroactive. But I'd be for repealing all the provision, all of it. And I hope that happens. Yes.
Why precisely go with UC and not force a vote to get some of these folks on the record?
Because we want to get this done. And if they would have been allowed amendments, they could have delayed it. And if you have amendments, guess where it goes? Not to the president's desk, to the House. And the House, who knows what they do with it. So that was enough. Thank you, everybody.
Are you saying that if this nothing...
All right, Senator Schumer speaking as we just saw the Senate Epstein situation there on the floor. Unanimous consent being sent over to President Trump's desk. And now we wait here to see when that will all happen. As a senior White House official says President Trump will sign the Epstein bill whenever he gets to the White House. So
but it's not going to get to the White House.
When that moment does
all right,
happen.
So yeah. So let's see here.
There are hackers out there that want nothing more than to cause damage and wreak havoc. There are hackers out there that are protecting your infrastructure.
Right. So, yeah. So Trump doesn't give a damn about, you know, what happened here. Let me see something. There was one article. Is it right here? In Politico about Thune rejecting. Let me see something. Is it here or here? Yeah, Thune rejected MAGA Mike Johnson's proposal to add some amendments. And right, so that's what Schumer was addressing in the last minute. I thought I had the article here. It just disappeared. But in any case, so now I'm going to close out, y'all. But listen to this. For people that still haven't figured it out and still, how can I say this, don't really care how this plays out either way, not really too concerned about Trump, you know, still on this, well, what about Biden shit, right? That reminds me, and it's important to understand that there's people that keep going through the same questions over and over, and you could tell them a million times and it's almost like they never heard the answers, back on the same silly shit again. But I would say this, at least Joe Rogan is keeping it real. Joe Rogan, I don't agree with him most often. After all, he's dumb. He's an idiot. He got a big podcast, but he's an idiot. He capped for Trump the whole time and now is on his podcast. The biggest thing he could do on his podcast now is show you how he made a mistake and how he's like, oh, damn, Trump, he's a liar. I didn't know that. I really believe Trump. Oh, really? I could never imagine Trump could be doing this. He could really, you know, he's surprised and shit like, if you're surprised, that means something's fucking wrong with you. That means you didn't get it, you know, but the least you could do is actually get it this time around. And you know what? He still totally does it. He still totally does it. Listen to this funny shit right here. Then I'm going to close out. This is crazy. I just wanted to leave y'all with this. Yo, before I go, click the like button and the subscribe button, please, because it ain't over. It ain't over till it's over. So we're gonna be on it tomorrow again. But check this out. Check out the logic, how his brain just works.
He wore a jacket.
Please, I hope this is not you, because you ain't got the money that he has. At least he's getting paid for this stupid shit.
And he had like all these awards on his chest that he had given himself.
Now he's right about that.
That's crazy.
They love to give awards.
That's like the Golden Globes or what.
This is the last episode. What is it? Episode 2413.
Yeah, same thing.
You know, it really is.
Now listen to this rant Joe Rogan goes on. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy's brain?
They give themselves awards for being the most awesome people.
But he's correct about that. Trump and them, they gave themselves fucking fake awards.
I mean, it's all fucking ridiculous.
Weird.
But that's what I feel like all of these balls of yarn that used to feel like they made so much sense, and they kept us warm and they gave us senses of purpose. I feel like all of them are becoming unraveled. But it makes me wonder what's going to happen now. Because these are a lot of things that have felt like some of the blueprints of our
waking up. He's just waking up now.
And they gave a yarn.
This is incredible. I want you MAGA people to understand how you sound. This is exactly how you sound. Look.
They give themselves awards for being the most awesome people.
I mean, it's all fucking ridiculous.
Weird.
But that's what I feel like all of these balls of yarn that used to feel like they made so much sense and they kept us warm and they gave us sense of purpose. I feel like all of them are becoming unraveled.
You felt crazy shit made sense. Okay.
Much sense. I feel like all of these balls of yarn that used to feel like they made so much sense.
Yeah, Hillary drinking blood on Epstein Island. That made sense to you.
And they kept us warm and they gave us senses of purpose. I feel like all of them are becoming unraveled, but it makes me wonder what's going to happen now. Because these are a lot of things that have felt like some of the blueprints of our
You feel like the whole world falling out under his feet. You mean he didn't realize Trump was linked up with Epstein?
existence, you know.
Well, you don't make.
But this is how a lot of MAGA folk are. Either that or the trolls. MAGA folk, if you're real people, don't let the trolls confuse you, because they'll be out there pretending like they're real people and like, I don't get it. I don't understand. You don't like Trump? No. You better wake up.
Makes me nervous.
Them are becoming unwrapped. Much sense. Like all of these balls of yarn that used to feel like they made so much sense and they kept us warm and they gave us senses of purpose. I feel like all of them are becoming.
They kept us warm and gave us a sense of purpose.
Unraveled, but it makes me wonder.
Their whole identity is being split. It's crazy.
What's going to happen now? Because these are a lot of things that have felt like some of the blueprints of our existence, you know.
Well, you know what makes me nervous?
You just figured out you're dumb. Okay.
Does that make any sense to you when I say
yes,
that?
Yes, 100%.
Because that's kind of what I guess I'm most scared about. I think, like, even this year, it's like some of my sense of, like, purpose or, like, I just...
His sense of purpose? I mean, you got to really be fucked up for your sense of purpose to be challenged by this shit. You're just dumb. Come on, man.
Worry that other people don't have a sense of purpose or what's going on, and it makes me kind of scared sometimes.
Well, that's a good
These are the fragile minds you're dealing with, man.
Perspective, and I think it's accurate.
He said, this is Joe Rogan at his best. He said he thinks it's fucking accurate. That's an accurate description you just gave.
Makes me kind of scared sometimes.
Well, that's a good perspective, and I think
makes me kind of scared sometimes. Well, that's a good perspective, and I think it's kind of accurate.
It's accurate. What makes me nervous is the people that are.
If you think the last shit was crazy, listen to what you're about to hear now. This is wild.
And I think it's accurate. What makes me nervous is the people that are not aware that all of our assumptions of how the government works were all based on bullshit. The people that still believe, that are like true believers.
Now watch how he puts a spin on this.
Of one side or the other, true faith in government and experts, those people make me more nervous.
Look, true believes in one side or the other. But he was believing the hell out of one side coming into this, and that one side totally took advantage of him. Marjorie Green Taylor, and he's out here acting like this is a two-sided fucking problem. Wake the fuck up, dude. Like, wake up. You believed in fucking Trump and you got played. Wake up. You got fucking played. The people that told you not to vote for Trump didn't fucking get played. Okay? They just lost. That's different. You lost and you got fucking played.
Because some of them are smart. That's what's crazy.
Look, he's like, some of them, now he's trying to gaslight the people that didn't fucking vote for Trump. Some of them are smart. Yeah, we know, motherfucker, because you're dumb.
Experts, those people make me more nervous.
Notice how the dumb people, they always worried about a fucking expert.
The people that still believe, that are like true believers of one side or the other, true faith in government and experts, those people.
Here we go again. This is Trump MAGA, Make America Great Election Campaign 2020 all over again. Let's listen to this. He hasn't learned his lesson.
We're all based on bullshit. The people that still believe, that are like true believers of one side or the other, true faith in government and experts. Those
true faith in government. You mean the woke people lost? The woke people got it wrong? Is that what this is? Is that what's happening with Trump? Trump is a woke person. that all of a sudden, what's going on here? He's trying to figure out the people that actually do the right thing, trying to find a way how they're wrong, how the woke people are wrong. That's what this is. No, motherfucker. The person you voted for was not woke at all, and you got it wrong, and you regret it. Like, look in the mirror.
It works. We're all based on bullshit. The people that still believe, that are like true believers of one side or the other, true faith in government and experts, those people make me more nervous.
So the woke people make him more nervous. Not Trump, who lied to his ass. Not Trump, who threw Marjorie Green Taylor in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't shit, ho. Like, she was capping for him for free the whole time. And he was like, you ain't shit. You're a woman. Like, seriously, she thought like she was in the in crowd. He was like, man, you ain't shit, Marjorie Green Taylor. Who the hell are you? Look, this guy is still capping for Trump.
Because some of them are smart. That's what's crazy. When smart people are completely unwilling.
Because this is the woke people fault. The tariffs, woke people. See, it's your fault, you woke people. What else? The cryptocurrency, Elon Musk going into the treasury, that was woke people's fault. You woke people did all that. Yeah, that's what you did wrong. Everything that you keeping the threatening, telling you I'm not going to give you disaster relief after a disaster. That was woke people. Yeah, Trump is real woke. This is insane. Just listen to him some more. This is ridiculous.
Willing to recognize
he's having an idiot relapse.
That conspiracies are not just real, but they're also not rare. They're very.
That's the brightest fucking thing he said. Hold on.
Smart people are completely unwilling to recognize that conspiracies are not just real, but they're also not rare. They're very common. They're common, and people get away with them.
Yeah.
Especially.
And guess who he got away with what? Guess who's fooling you, you dumbass? Like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, you finally figured it fucking out, and he still hasn't figured it out yet.
Especially when they're in positions of extreme power, like running intelligence agencies. And there's a lot of things that they do that are morally reprehensible.
Look, so you see how he was before, he was more worried about the woke people. He's more worried about the woke people. And yet he's describing a disaster by the Trump folks. Something's really fucked up with this guy's brain, man.
But totally legal. Like, they can do things that they do that are morally reprehensible, but totally legal.
No. Who said it's legal? You see? Like, what's wrong with him? Don't listen, please. Even if you're a Joe Rogan fan, if you're not a child, kids, people, anybody, nobody said it's legal. People get away with things that are illegal all the time and get prosecuted later. When you rob a bank, you don't go directly to jail. You go to jail after the investigation and the conviction. Okay? Like, what he's saying makes no goddamn sense.
Like, they could do it because they're allowed to, because they are a 3-letter organization and they have ultimate power.
It's conspiracy theory. So, he doesn't know where to land. Like, Joe Rogan's fucking crazy. Kamala Harris told him what his experience would be like if he voted for Trump. It turned out to be exactly like that, and he's still fucking confused.
To do a lot of like really gross things that are in the nature or in the interest of national security. So like, this is the whole idea behind it. They say like, this is our decision. This is the best move for national security. This is how we compromise assets. This is how we gather information. This is how we keep America safe.
But they're not RF. Why is it RF?
Anyway, whatever his excuse is, this is embarrassing. He should. I see why a lot of people vote poorly, but I also see why we don't challenge our young kids. Like, young people, Joe Rogan is not that smart, man. Don't listen to him. Don't try to be like him. Don't try to emulate him. Joe Rogan is not that smart. I have nothing against him. Like, outside of that, he's just not that smart. It's like, dude, you got $1 million fucking dollars. If you can't figure out what the fuck is going on, That is a low bar, man. You either have no access to any intelligent people. I'm saying, well, I don't want to be so hard. Maybe not intelligent, but just people that ain't with this kind of stuff ain't that clever. Like Joe Rogan, you'll never figure a crime out. I'll put it to you that way. You know, a crime could smack you in your face and you ain't no Sherlock Holmes is what I'm saying, Joe Rogan. You ain't no Sherlock Holmes. Joe fucking Rogan, you are no Sherlock Holmes. Okay, my man? Like, goddamn, this dude is never going to figure out what the fuck is going on. He's dumb. Joe fucking Rogan is dumb. Okay? Joe Rogan is fucking dumb. Anyway, I just wanted to leave y'all with that. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. It ain't over, y'all. The battle continues. But for now, let's just agree. Can we just fucking impeach Trump? How many days do we have to wait for a congressional member to say, for them to get together and do what they did today, and this time just put the word impeach on it? And how long do we fucking have to wait for the Senate to do the same thing? They did it all in one day with this shit. They did it all in one day. They wrapped it all up. Like, can we get to that part? Because every single day without that is a waste of a fucking day. It's a waste of the American people's fucking day. Period. You know, this is bullshit. Yo, but on that note, I'm out. I'm going to catch up with y'all real soon in the next 24. But I appreciate you for coming out. And we'll get up there. We'll get up in the next 12. See y'all. Peace to the chat. Peace to the listeners. Thanks for coming out, y'all. Subscribe. Like.
I know how to see a whack MC when he mustn't, but I just back away real cool, no fussing. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they want more. Crime babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind, is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets, with the people in the slums and the homeless bums, with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. lotus coming out of the mud with colors. I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Can you feel it? Nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk